Yeah. Chris Crespo. We got Chris. Chris is on the couch. He's got a man bun. There's so much fun, the man bun. Man bun. Tom would look good with a man bun. He'd be ready for a tough mudder with a man bun. You look like a Viking man. You look like a CrossFit Tom. It's a new thing I like to do now. Start with like a small improvisational scatting song for the show.
Pretty awesome.
Thank you, Chris.
I wonder.
You don't need to say that. But
No, I love scat.
In the
ew, hey, poo poo, it's poo poo.
I need to talk to
The
some
doctor.
exercise people about where they put the Tough Mudder in the list of accomplishments.
It's a
in
novelty
exercise.
race. It's a novelty race for gays. I think they feel like that. I think they feel like that. I don't feel like that.
You think they feel like that?
I think it's awesome, but I think they feel like that. And I hate all. I hate all of them. Tough Mudder, Color Run, all of them.
Yeah. But what?
Color Run, and then what's the one where they electrify? They have electric eels that hang down from and then you're running through a mud pit and it's tasing. I'm like, that's not about how good I am in athletics. So you're just trying to fuck with me.
That's just Jackass 3. Did
Yeah,
you do that
now you're
Jackass
just
3?
trying
Yeah,
to.
it
Now
is
you're just
Jackass.
Now you're just tasing me, bro.
That's ridiculous.
It is.
But
it is ridiculous.
Do people look at Tough Mudders like they look at
As an athletic accomplishment?
like
On the level of what?
of like a half marathon or marathon?
No, what you did.
Maybe a 5K?
What you did is more legit.
It's harder than a 5K.
What you
5K
did
is really nothing.
What the Pineapple Man is more legit. And I'm not just saying that because of present company. I'm saying Tough Mudder is something you do with your beer drinking bros because at the end of the day, you all want to go down to,
it could be really hard, though.
Good Times Brewery,
Yeah, you always get the pub burgers
I'm in the
afterwards.
Mug Club at the Good Times Brewery. They let my dog come down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fuck that shit. I'm in a bad mood today. I'm in so much pain.
Oh, shit.
But
okay.
I'm in a happy mood, but I'm in so much pain I just want to make fun of everything.
I got you.
Especially Mark
Be
Wahlberg.
prepared. Oh.
Fucking piece of shit.
I'm ready to talk about him.
Yep.
I'm going to go see his new movie.
I want to go with you, actually. Should we start? Should we start?
I'm calling it Fear Bozo.
Yeah! Fuck! Oh my god. Dude, we're all the same. I didn't have bozo.
That's so funny.
I got Crespo with that one.
Fear Bozo is awesome.
I called it fear hair loss. Fear,
yeah.
like fearing hair loss. Like, that's so funny. You
Fear
know what? We
Bozo.
should start a company. We should start a show together. Y'all need a pilot?
That's what he's doing. He's doing the same character.
He is.
Stupid.
Yeah.
You know what he's doing?
No.
Counselor, Counselor, come out, wherever
Yeah.
you are. He's doing what old fucking Cape Fear.
He is.
He's doing Fear again.
Robert De Niro.
All right, hold on. We need to start
Mark
recording.
Wahlberg, not that good of an actor. I
No.
don't know.
No.
He's
No,
fine.
He's a
but
horrible person. Ask him about all the minorities he beat up when he was a kid.
I love to ask him about that. About the Vietnamese.
Would you ask him? And black people. He threw
Yeah.
rocks at black people, and he beat Vietnamese people with wooden boards.
I would ask him why he wanted to be pardoned for that. Like, hey, why did you want to get pardoned
but
for
then
that specifically?
then he rolled his pardon back. That was in 2014. Then he rolled it back and said like,
I don't think it was going to be granted to him.
and then he was like, I don't need it anyway to be a good person and have personal growth.
The reason he needed it is because they wanted Wahlburgers to get a liquor license, and since he was like part owner, they wouldn't give it to him because that's.
We're wasting. This is good
this is all
stuff. We
good
should
stuff
be
for-
talking about.
Okay.
All right, hold on. Here we go. I'm calling it. I'll start. Here we go. And 3, 2. It is a corporate time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom. Real quick,
Yeah,
on
man.
January 25th, Science on Tap. It's the Orlando Science Center Beer Fest they have every year.
Not only is it their beer fest, but when you go and participate, and it's a beautiful beer fest, all of the money goes to help out the Science Center. And because Tom and I are the center of culture within Orlando, when you think science, Tom and Dan. When you think history, Tom and Dan. And when you think art, Tom and Dan. Or the library, Tom and Dan. You know, we have that. We also can get you testosterone, but don't worry about that. Don't worry about
Or
that.
fireworks? You want some fireworks?
You want fireworks? Don't
Testosterone?
worry. But don't worry. You want both? I like to do testosterone while I'm holding a sparkler. But don't worry about that.
Want some weed? They
Yeah.
pose as medicine? We got that for you.
If you want some weed, so you can tell your wife it's medicine, we got that too. But don't worry about all of that. You want to go to Science on Tap, one of the nicest beer fests, and help out the Science Center. If you're a member, you get money off. So, and most of our listeners have already done this, especially if you have a family. It's a great place to take your family.
OSC.org
There
for
you go.
tickets. Chris Crespo's in
Hey,
studio. How you doing, Chris?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Very
good to see you.
to see you too, man.
Awesome.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Happy
You are
MLK Day.
underdressed today. Yeah, happy MLK Day.
You know what they say? They say don't dress for the weather that's out there, dress for the weather that you want. So I'm a summer boy.
All right, I've never heard that before, but I like that. I like that.
Common I got a fortune cookie once.
I like that. That's really good. My daughter and I love fortune cookies. God, we love them. we love them. Oh, and we're so into it. She reads the fortune and she believes in it too. She is really gullible, my daughter. Oh my
Perfect
God!
age, perfect age
I
for a
had to
fortune
drive
cookie.
her up to 7-Eleven to play her 6 numbers.
You should.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
We
that's
did.
awesome.
I like fortune cookies because they're frozen in time.
Yeah.
Because literally the factory
Yeah, yeah.
that's been making fortune cookies
Yeah.
has not changed the cookie
No.
Or the fortune.
or the fortune
No.
inside the paper.
Yeah.
The paper has remained
Same paper.
exactly the same
Yeah.
for, I'm not even joking, 40 years?
Maybe no.
Like,
you could go longer.
like since the 80s? You know what I'm saying? Like maybe
even
earlier.
the 60s, bro.
Yeah,
Like-
when did they invent
Yeah.
fortune cookies?
They haven't thought like, man, we could change it a little bit,
Yeah.
make it a little more current.
I got my fortune yesterday.
Just
My
text.
fortune said, "Mr. Gorbachev, bring down that wall." That's what the fortune said. That's what the fortune said.
Yeah.
I go, well, that's not a good fortune. How do I apply that to my life?
It would cost them nothing because they're
Yeah.
just printing text on a paper.
I
that
got
tiny
one
piece of
fortune.
paper.
I got one fortune. It said Tippy Canoe and Tyler too. I don't even know how to apply that. I don't know what that means to my family.
Like update the fortunes a little bit. Something.
Dude, hold on.
Nothing?
You have been on a streak of really good ideas. This one actually, like, if you went to a fast food restaurant and got a fortune cookie and you opened it up and it said, looking on fleek, bae, you'd be like, it would blow you out of your chair,
It'd be
right?
a
Like,
social media sensation.
If it said like you're sus or something, like it would blow you out of your
I mean,
chair.
you put like TikTok will be saved by
Oh, I'm so mad about that.
Wouldn't it be more
Yeah.
interesting? People be like, "Whoa,
Wow,
like,
it's up to date.
it's the same thing for 40
I'm so
years."
mad about that. What that is also, I'm calling it the great social media victory. I'm like, you got, really? You guys all believe that?
The great
Okay,
victory,
All right.
yeah.
Okay, you morons.
So, Chris, let's talk real quick before we get into the Oscars and the Best Picture nominations.
Sure.
Because I went through them. I watched every trailer. Because
Hold on a second. Write this down.
What?
Tom and Dan fortune cookie with every purchase. Write that down. And they can be stale. It doesn't matter. Merchmen, order them, and we'll write all the fortunes.
It
We'll
absolutely
write-
doesn't matter. They can be.
Yeah,
They
can
actually
be
should
stale.
be. They have
Yeah.
to be stale.
Every
That's part of the
fortune,
taste.
every fortune and inside of it will be written by Tom and Dan. Write Write that down. I'm doing it this year.
I like it.
2025, it's the year of the snake, and we're the 2 greatest snakes in Orlando. We're doing it. Write it down.
So before we go through the Best Picture nominations, because I didn't know 80% of them.
Sure. Shape of Water is all I know.
didn't know.
Yeah, it's back. Re-release. It's back. He nominated 10 times.
I know Shape of Water, Schindler's List.
The Artist.
Yeah, the artist.
Let's talk about the new Mark Wahlberg movie.
Hold on.
Flight to Risk.
I got a little bit of it. I got just a little bit of it to play.
Nice.
That we deemed before we started the show Fear Bozo.
If you guys, should we get a group of people together, a group of listeners to go see Fear Bozo? Hold on. Here's a little bit of the trailer.
It does not look good.
This is the
It looks entertaining.
Official trailer number 2 of the movie Flight Risk, a.k.a. Flight Bozo.
Deputy Harris? Daryl Booth. Hope you like flying. I never flew a fugitive before.
I never flew I never done flowed a fugitive. But what kind of voice is that,
What is
Mark?
he doing?
Well, Mark, what voice are you doing there? I never done throwed a rock at black people. Wait, I
his
did
accent
when I
work.
was 15. I never done hit a Vietnamese before with a
with a
piece
stick.
of wood. No, yes, I did when I was 16. Got
Yep.
arrested for it, then asked to be pardoned in 2014.
Yep.
Y'all need a pilot? This guy's terrible.
So, the Bozo haircut
Yes.
is distracting.
What a reveal in the trailer when it happens halfway. His hat comes off. And he's got what?
Let me see if I can find this.
And there's a close-up. I saw the trailer yesterday again in
there
a
it is.
theater. The wig work is not great. Let me tell
It
you.
isn't.
The lines
Why not
there.
just shave it?
Shave it for real, yeah.
Yeah. Why not just like Jim Carrey did?
Like really commit to it.
And look, I'm not
For
making
Sonic.
a joke for Sonic. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
even making a joke.
Yeah.
I saw that scene, and then I actually watched. I haven't seen the movie yet, but there's a behind-the-scenes thing you can watch on it.
Mhm.
I mean, Jim Carrey will do. I mean, like, no wonder he plays a great villain in the Sonic movie.
Because he goes full on, yeah.
he does it.
You could always tell, just like in Demi Moore when she did, she shaved her head and
G.I. Jane.
G.I. Jane. You could always tell when it's a real head shave in a movie. I don't know.
Versus a bald cap.
I've got it up. If twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live or at Tom and Dan Live on YouTube, you can see.
The Fear Bozo.
Yeah, and you know what? You are correct. I can see that is a wig even in the trailer.
Yeah.
Just from a very low
And then
resolution.
that shot where he goes, you need a pilot towards the end of the trailer. You can really see like where it touches his scalp, and you can almost see the glue holding the
Oh,
lacing
look, he's got
in
Michael
there.
Jordan. Look, he's got the flightman on his. Look at that. It's flight. It looks like the Michael Jordan flightman on his.
Oh,
on
yeah.
his head.
The
if you
airman?
The airman. Jumpman. Yeah, Jumpman. That's what he's called.
The real head shave scene in movies always has a different energy because it's a one take.
Yeah, that's true.
They have
You're
no,
right.
and
That's
you
true.
can feel it.
Yeah.
And then it's like they should do more like scenes where they have to do a one take because there's no going back.
Right.
Because it does, like even in Sonic when they when
I've seen that
Eggman was
scene.
shaving his head.
I've seen that scene.
It's like when you're watching it,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, they're really shaving his head,
It's
and then
hot,
I'm
yeah.
like, it's a different energy in
Yeah.
the movie.
One of the best examples of that is Full Metal Jacket, because it's a Vietnam War movie, and half the movie takes place at boot camp. So obviously a big part of boot camp is getting your head shaved.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So they had the actors, they shaved all their heads for real. They filmed it, they shaved their heads. They shot all the boot camp stuff. They shot all the Vietnam War stuff with their hair grown out. And then they sent the actors home for a few months. Their hair had been growing back out. And then Stanley Kubrick decided he wanted to reshoot the head shaving stuff for the very last thing that they shot for the movie. So they brought all the actors back, shaved their heads for real, and they all looked sad and depressed for real, because they thought they were done, and they grew their hair back and they were getting it shaved again. So if you watch Full Metal Jacket and watch them get their head shaved, those are real expressions of remorse and anger that they have to sit through that one more time.
See, that's a brilliant move from the director because he probably knew this is how
You would get that reaction.
You get the best reaction.
Stanley Kubrick is considered one of the best.
Yeah.
So.
Also, in this, like, I'm assuming that the entire movie takes place within the small fuselage of this tiny Piper Cub plane or whatever.
Yes, it looks like a little, like it's all in one
Yeah.
location, being in this plane. It's 3 characters.
Like one of those, like that elevator movie that, like the entire movie.
There's
like,
Devil, the one where there's 5 characters in the elevator.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
also Phone Booth where Colin Farrell's in the phone booth the whole time.
Yeah. I don't like these movies. I like I like it. You know what I like? The fact that we have a universe and we can spiral into it and use all of the stuff. I don't
Use
want
all
to
the
be
resources.
like I am not a movie movie guy, but I don't like being stuck inside a plane for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
It might
While
feel
Bo's over
claustrophobic.
here, like one of them, I'll put up this scene. Look at this scene. He's like choking her. He's like, "You ever seen a face turn this color before?" It's like, "Oh, get out of here, you moron! I hate you."
Directed by Mel Gibson too.
Oh, they don't put that.
No, they put from the director of Apocalypto and Braveheart. Is
I
what
saw
they put.
that, so they don't.
They
wanna
don't
put
say
his
Mel
name?
Gibson,
Okay, hold
yeah.
on a second. Why? Is it because he yells the N-word?
Yes,
It's like,
exactly. Because he's a terrible person.
He's a terrible person.
Yes, he's an
Yell at
awful
you
person.
bastard.
And he is now has the hour passed yet? Our current president has named John Voight, Mel Gibson, and Sylvester Stallone as his ambassadors to Hollywood.
All right. Hold on. Is that a thing?
Hold on.
It is now in
I like that.
2025.
I like that. Did they get berets?
Thank you, Mr. Trump. I do. Thank you, sir. Yeah. They're totally.
That's
I want the
awesome.
beret, so
Hold on,
thank you.
Is there ever been
Arnold
an
is too liberal, right?
Too
Yeah.
liberal.
Yeah.
No, Schwarzenegger's actually he makes them anyway. It's wild.
Oh, that's
He's
wild.
so different from
This
it.
is
But
crazy.
Stallone, yeah, Stallone has been pro Trump since day one. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
thank you, Mr. President. Ever since Trump pardoned some like old dead boxer, Stallone has been all for this guy.
All right.
So now they're going to go to Hollywood and be his eyes and ears and help make
Oh, I like that.
America.
You're gonna sniff up the pedophiles.
They're
You're
going to
gonna
make
sniff the
Hollywood great
pedophiles
again.
out.
Yeah.
So, all right.
So that's why, yeah, Mel Gibson.
Fantastic.
It's a Mel Gibson movie.
I love it.
Let's, because we're going to run out of time here, I want to go through all the Best Picture nominees of the Oscars,
Yeah.
because the Oscars are coming up soon. And
Beginning of March, I think.
And I feel like now more than ever, a lot of people are unfamiliar with what the Best Picture nominees are and haven't probably seen them.
And I think also this year's a little weird because of the lack of movies due to the strikes the year before and the lack of product in the pipeline. It's overall, it's been just less stuff out there. So you have to look further for movies to be considered Best Picture. And I will say at this time, before we even start naming movies, there is no clear front runner as to who's going to win a bunch of stuff, take a bunch of stuff home. So it'll be interesting to see how this shakes out over the next month or so.
Now, I've seen only one of these movies, which is Wicked.
That's I've seen Wicked
Oh,
as
yeah,
well.
we've all seen Wicked.
Yeah, we've all seen Wicked.
But I have not seen the rest of them, but I did watch every trailer.
Okay.
And then I came up with a little nickname for the movie. And,
Ooh, I love that. I love that. Oh, my
love
God.
the
Like
nicknames.
Flybozo. Like Flybozo.
Flybozo.
Hold on. I love playing this game.
Old blind man with a gun.
What if we guess it? What if we guess it?
yeah. Well, now, Daniel, are you familiar with any of these movies?
No.
Yeah, okay,
I mean,
yeah.
come on.
I
You
know.
know me, buddy.
So, Chris,
Shape of Water.
Shape of Water.
have you seen them all, by the way?
I have not seen all of them, but I've seen some of them.
All right.
I know what they all are. I think I do.
So,
What about the one with Demi Moore in it?
The Substance.
oh, yeah, we'll talk about that.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
That's my favorite movie.
Does she like
That-
freak out or
oh
something?
my, what a movie.
Because she's like an old.
Because she's aging out of Hollywood. Because she's a 6-year-old playing a 5th-year-old and looks incredible.
My
doing it.
nickname for that movie is MILF Takes Female Testosterone.
Yeah, oh, I like that. Joan Rogan. Yeah. I would have called her Joan Rogan. Yeah,
Joan
but
Rogan.
we'll take their idea.
All
That's
right.
awesome.
Well, let's start with The Brutalist.
Yeah.
That's the movie I just
Oh
saw
my God.
yesterday.
That's about my. That is literally about my proctologist.
or
Because it's rough back there.
Sad White Coming to America.
Is there a McDowell's in there?
And it's who's the actor? again?
Adrian Brody.
Adrian Brody. It's a period piece about
Ew.
the beginning of New York and people coming over from Europe to Staten Island, and that's what at least it looks like in the
Yeah, the trailer doesn't really give much. It lets you know it is about a guy coming over from Europe. It's Adrian Brody's character. He's a Hungarian Jew who just gets out of a concentration camp. And the movie starts with him getting to America. And in Europe, before World War II, he was an architect. But when he gets to America, just like every immigrant, he's like living in a storage closet and has to make his way. So it's an American epic about an immigrant who starts from nothing and tries to achieve the American dream and tries to, be this great artist, this great exceptional singular artist that he is. And it's a 3.5-hour film with a 10 to 15 minute intermission. And I saw it yesterday, and it's a pretty incredible film. Like, I just saw it, so I'm still kind of sitting with it. I don't have fully formed opinions, but it is, even though I just saw it, it's technically, like you're saying, it's a 2024 movie. It's for sure one of the best 2024 movies. If it wins Best Picture, if it wins, Adrian Brody will probably win for acting. If it wins, I totally understand why, because it's truly a big, huge work of art that works from start to finish. I was never not engaged. I was never bored. Not a single storyline, not a single character. I was fully invested the whole time. And the two people I were with were similarly like fully engaged the whole time.
Chat room checking in. This is from Riki. He says, 19 hours ago on Reddit, that they actually used AI to enhance Adrian Brody's accent in this movie.
Man, they use AI for everything these days.
Didn't know that.
Wherever they can squeeze AI into, though. Yeah, he is playing Hungarian, so he does have a strong accent the whole time. If not speaking a few scenes in, I believe,
How would
Hungarian.
someone sound hungry?
Well, he pulled it off. I'll tell you.
Interesting.
I was definitely starving.
Yes.
So why do you think it's called the Brutalist?
Because architecture.
It's a
because
style of
it's a style
Oh,
of
okay,
architecture.
okay.
Yeah.
You
No.
uncultured piece of crap. How do you not know that?
Yeah.
You blanking moron, and you call yourself a fan of the Museum of Art? Did I not just say at the beginning of this that we are the epicenter of true culture in Orlando?
I forgot to do the thing I always do. Of like, can you explain for listeners who may not know what brutalist means? I mean,
There
we
you
all
go.
know.
I know.
But,
But for them.
I mean, we are in Florida.
Explain it. Can you explain it to these fat airboat lovers?
I just think of some like warrior hitting someone. You know what I'm saying?
Me too. I had to look it up.
I will say, though, obviously, haven't seen the film in retrospect, The Brutalist, while that being a style of architecture, you can also kind of like think about characters being brutal to each other. There is maybe one character in particular I'm thinking of that probably did the most awful thing in the film. So, double meaning there. For that
Spoiler,
title.
finger in the butt.
Hey. Why you
We
giving away all the
say that.
spoilers? Why you giving away all the spoilers, man?
Sorry, I'm sorry.
That's how you win an
Wait,
Oscar.
no,
That's how you win an Oscar.
No, that was Nosferatu. I mixed up the movies.
Oh no, Nosferatu is Sex in a Casket. Is Nosferatu.
So, speaking of sex, when I saw this movie, I'd never even heard of it. It's called Challengers.
It's about the space shuttle, right?
No.
It's a sequel to the space shuttle.
I've nicknamed.
Oh my God.
I've nicknamed.
Where do we go from here? No.
I nicknamed this movie Tennis Threesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tennis three-way, yeah.
Yeah.
And because it is about a female tennis prodigy that hurts herself, becomes a coach,
Yep.
and
then just starts eating it?
And no, coaches boys or two men
hey.
who, you know what
Hey.
happens.
Oh my God. They put it through the net? I've seen those movies. I've seen those
Yeah,
pornos.
and it's Zendaya.
Everybody that's seen porno, when they go to the tennis court,
It's through the net.
The dude puts it through the net.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah, you always go through the
Don't
net.
do that. That's filthy. Don't put it through the net. It's gross. There's mildew on that.
So,
Jesus Christ. They haven't even pressure washed that in like 19,
No,
20 years.
give me a new net over here.
so have you seen Challenger?
I did. I saw Challengers when it came out in theaters earlier this year. I actually want to rewatch it. I think it's currently on Prime because it's an Amazon MGM movie. And it's great. It's got a great soundtrack. It's got a Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross soundtrack that's like 90s house techno, just like pumping the whole time. And then in the movie, characters just having like normal dramatic scenes, are just talking to each other, but the music is doom doom doom, like almost drowning them out. It's almost funny how the music takes like is front and center throughout the whole film, and it's really well made. I really like this director. Is this Italian guy named Luca Guadagnino, who's made some amazing, interesting like dramas over the last 10 years. That's a great name. And he has two movies this year. He made Challengers, and he made that movie I talked about it last time I was here, I think, Queer, with Daniel Craig. He also directed that as well.
Oh, you mean 50s gay James Bond?
There you go.
Oh, 50s gay James Bond. I'll watch that.
Yeah, that's exactly correct.
I'll watch that all day long.
That's so correct.
Finally, somebody who speaks to my soul when it comes to movies. I'm getting the accurate titles.
Same guy made both those movies.
Yeah. So that is another movie that's nominated called
Tell
Queer.
me about 50s gay James Bond.
It's exactly in the title.
Just add drugs, add heroin,
Okay.
and ayahuasca.
Yeah, Daniel Craig playing a homosexual man
Okay.
in the 1950s.
He's a hot homosexual
In Mexico.
in Mexico.
Oh,
Yeah,
I bet
he's an expatriate.
Daniel Craig as a gay man is a super snack, right?
Yes, he dresses well, but the thing is, in this movie,
Nobody's like muscular and clean.
Well,
and,
no, in this movie, he's playing. It's a sort of biographical William S. Burroughs story,
all right.
and he was a heroin junkie. So most of the movie, Craig is very sweaty and like in need of a fix, and even goes through withdrawals at times.
I like
So
a sweaty Craig.
It is a more distressed, worn, street-worn
Yeah.
Craig,
So he's
which still is very snacky. I
So
gotta
he's
say.
showing like some range.
Oh, for sure. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
He's a very, very good actor. His American accent in the past has been dodgy, but I feel like he did a pretty good job.
Favorite
with this
movie that he was ever in? Cowboys
one. I was
vs.
going to say
Aliens.
Cowboys and Aliens.
Yeah, Cowboys Aliens by far.
Man.
I mean, greatest movie of all time.
What a letdown. Oh, my goodness.
Next movie, which when I watched the trailer, I'd never even seen that like even pop up in any social media or now we're living in these bubbles of algorithms.
Sure.
And if this is far away from your algorithm, you just don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a movie called A Different Man, which I've nicknamed Ogre Face. But I say it like
Like Shrek?
no.
Like, get out of my swamp!
Ogre Face. What's her name?
So like Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga.
Ogre face. Ogre face.
So A Different Man is a story about a man that has a horribly disfigured
come
ogre
on.
face.
Haven't we had enough of these movies
Yeah,
where
he's-
it's like,
he's a-
okay, look, we know he's going to be successful.
He's a Rocky
We know
Dennis
we
type,
should
yeah.
look past
it's a
his
Rocky
horrible
Dennis
face.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he goes, and this is all in the trailer. I'm not.
Is this
not
the one
ruining
where
it.
it's a real guy with a real ogre face?
Yes, one of the guys is real.
That's why you got to be
Well,
careful.
The second.
The
Because
second guy.
he's a legit ogre face.
Describe
because
it. Go ahead and describe
You
it.
Okay.
can't say that.
So
Because he can't do anything about it.
Ogre Face is a movie about a man with an ogre face. Okay. And he goes through.
It's my favorite DJ, Paul Ogreface.
All over face.
He goes through a medical procedure which takes away his ogre face.
Yes.
Right?
It's a
And-
normal face.
because
Well, I
he
shouldn't
was,
say normal.
he was
Non-ogre-y.
yeah like
He's
but
lumpy and melted.
also he was tormented by his ogre face and he wanted and then he got his ogre face removed and a new life, but then a new ogre face comes and he's the life of the party. He's life of the party ogre
Oh,
face.
then he misses it.
And everybody likes him.
Yeah.
Everybody likes
This
the
is
new
the Pow
ogre
Pow
face.
fish. This is the children's book, The Pow Pow Fish, where he has the shiny scales, and he's like, I wish I could be like everybody else. And then when he finally gets it, like, right? Is it? I think hold on, this gets no Oscar.
Pow Pow Face.
This is Pow Pow Face.
Pow Pow Face.
This gets no Oscar because this is a children's book. No sir.
It's a slick
and
adaptation.
you get no Oscar if it's a real face. It has to be prosthetic face.
Well, so
Well, one's prosthetic and one's real.
yeah, the new ogre
Oh, that's
man.
just insulting to the real ogre man.
Yeah, the real new ogre man comes and he's the life of the party. Everybody loves
What do you
him.
mean?
Hot
He's
chicks.
hot chicks are
Oh.
what
What the hell are you doing?
I relax. I like it when Chris is here. I relax.
Hot chicks are kissing him. They love
What?
it.
We're
Yeah.
kissing on his face or just kissing his body?
No, his face.
What?
And then the old ogre face, who now has a regular human
Regular, that was Sebastian
face,
Stan. He
he's
looks
like,
great.
I wish I had an ogre face again.
So what does he do?
Would you never
so
wish that?
So he invents a potion.
I don't know. Well, that's the movie.
That's what.
I don't
yeah.
know.
Now you gotta
Hold on,
watch for you to find
I
out
might
what
actually
happens.
watch this. I might
And
actually watch
it's
this.
currently available now, I think, on Max or Hulu. It's out on for streaming at home. So this one is available to watch now.
and this is
It had
called-
a really small theatrical release over the last few
And
months.
it's called Ogre Face.
It's called Ogre Face, aka A Different Man. A Different Man. The guy with the real ogre face, that dude was in a movie 11 years ago called Under the Skin, a Scarlett Johansson movie, a weird, cool, strange sci-fi movie that I recommend for anyone looking for something
He's like the
dark
ball
and
of.
strange.
He's like the ball of Hollywood right now, right?
Well,
that
between
guy?
two movies, I wouldn't consider that a ball of Hollywood, but I think right now he's doing
Yeah, they
pretty
love
good.
that guy though, right? Like they.
I guess after this movie, yeah, we'll see if they maybe will do Mask 2 or just remake Mask. I don't know. That's the only reference I have for this type of
Yeah.
condition, genetic condition.
Well, like I think like he is like, and then I think I actually talked about him with my wife one time. I think I saw him on like the dais of like a
panel of some sort.
Yeah, and then he was like sitting there, and then I was like, oh, he's like actually looks like him. No, I'm not trying to be funny. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
I'm like, oh, he actually looks like that. And then I was thinking about it, and I was like, so he probably wants to just have like regular roles,
Oh, sure, if possible. Yeah, why
And-
not? Just play the brother.
right? And just be
or,
like
you
the
know,
guy.
some character.
Yeah, just be like in a movie where
It's not defined by his look.
correct.
Sure.
Which is gonna be hard. I'm just gonna be real with you. It kind of does break. the...
Hollywood often allows like one of a type. Like,
Well,
okay,
I don't know if we're ready for that.
Like we have Peter Dinklage. We don't need any more little people actors out here. You know.
Well,
Okay,
this
we'll
isn't
have
little
this
person.
guy.
This isn't a little person.
Well,
This
that's what I'm
is
saying.
a-
Now we'll have this guy, so we don't need any more like deformed face or genetically abnormal.
Yeah, do they fight for? They probably.
They do. They fight for the roles. They fight for the same. Just like how many roles are there for these type of They have to have stuff written for them.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I hope he's the new Batman.
That would be
I
awesome.
would like that. And he's ultra violent. Ultra violent because he's mad as hell in his face.
The first R-rated Batman.
Yeah, he does it. He's dropping you off buildings and stuff. He's murdering you good, running you over with the Batmobile because he's mad.
But they make the Batman mask
Wide open.
all lumpy like
Make the whole suit lumpy. Yeah. Then why stop at the face?
Hey, he put himself out there. He must have known.
Yeah.
Making some
Hey,
jokes.
public figure.
Yeah,
Come on, you're rich now.
He's doing fine.
Although you're right. This is the only movie he could be cast in. This.
Well, that's kind of what I
Some
trying to
sort
say.
of-
We'll see if he can continue.
Yeah.
your
Game
role.
of Thrones.
Hills Have Eyes.
No,
4.
you do Game of Thrones. You do Game of
Game of
Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Yeah.
No,
There you go.
can do
Fantasy
that.
stuff. Yeah.
Next
do some
movie.
voice work. Do Bob's Burgers.
Perfect.
Next movie up, another movie I've never heard of, How to Have Sex, which I nicknamed British Spring Break, because that's what it is. It's a British girls going on spring break. And,
No sex, please. We're British.
And then I don't even, from the actual trailer, I'm not even sure what happens.
Is this a coming-of-age British lady movie or something?
Well, one of the British girls is sad walking barefoot through Tijuana at the end.
British girls are sad when they go to Mexico.
Well,
a lot of the time.
we're just like, like what happened to you? Is this because anyway?
Do you have to climb out of a dumpster or something?
Yeah. So I don't know if you've seen this.
No, not for sure. This hasn't had I don't think it's had a full release here stateside.
Ew,
Yeah.
disgusting, Chris. Why would you say that?
Like, oh man, like you said, I'm relaxed. I'm having a good time.
It is like hot co-ed girls
Are they
on
hot?
spring break. Yeah. And
Is this like one of those nudity movies?
there is some nudity.
Yeah.
It looks like there is, and
Yeah.
like lots of party scenes with, like I said,
Drugs and stuff.
Co-eds on spring break, just partying and hooking up with each other.
It's on Prime right now. If you wanna check it out, see what's up with it.
There you go.
There you go. So, readily available.
And next up, we spoke about it already, but Nosferatu.
That looks good.
I saw that around Christmas time, around the holiday. Fantastic film. One of my favorites of the year for sure. Very, very well made. If you're looking
scary?
Scary, no, it's moody.
Pretty.
It's intense looking. Oh, it's gorgeous to look at. The whole shadowy, dark, gothic look is fantastic. If that's the type of movie you're looking for, this thing's gonna deliver. I've heard this director now described as a like gothic horror, or at least the movie gothic horror Wes Anderson, because everything is so precise and the sets are so like the production design is so meticulous.
Yeah.
And it's about the costuming and everything, including in addition to the story and all that. Very well made.
What was that negative heat that I was kind of hearing? Right when it got released, there were I would say bigger critics and/or publications were talking about pacing. Did you catch any of that?
I like
being slow.
I like the
boring?
pacing of it. I feel like this guy's movies typically are kind of slower. I mean, The Lighthouse, The Witch, they have very particular set paces that then build up to big endings or
Right,
weird
so it's
endings.
deliberate. If you don't like that, you're not going to like it.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like within half an hour of the movie, if you're not into it, the movie's not going to change.
Gotcha.
But I think you'll know pretty quickly watching this thing based on the opening scene of what happens. If you're like, "Whoa, this is interesting," then the whole movie is going to deliver for you. And then Skarsgård, Bill Skarsgård, the one who played Pennywise, the clown, right in the It movies.
Yeah,
he's Count Orlok, and he does a performance where he's like, I don't know, 33 years old, and he's very believably playing a much older character.
I do that.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm only 48.
that's
a lot of people don't know that.
He's pulling a Daniel Dennis.
Recently,
he's doing a great job.
Recently, lately, people are like, "What are you, 66, 67 years old?" I'm like, "No, I am 48 years old."
Well, the wheelchair does throw people off.
Well,
a
yeah.
little bit.
I thought by painting it black and making it like
Adding
blend in.
flames on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Guy Fieri flames.
Yeah.
He does an incredible job. Also, he does this he changes his voice, or he speaks with a very low, deep voice. That right after the movie came out, all over TikTok, it became a thing to imitate his voice and do videos with the way he speaks is very deep, and it's very, very entertaining. So it has it's made an impact. Like, people have noticed it, and are fans of the movie, which is cool. It cost them $50 million to make, and I think it's made about 90 so far. So it's a reasonable hit for being an R-rated, weird vampire.
Yeah.
movie.
Why R-rated? Violence?
Yeah, it gets pretty violent. It's also very sexy and a
We get
little
to
bit
see
of
some
language.
pale white boobage.
You get to see a bit more than you'd expect.
Really?
Of
Vampire
both
bush?
ladies and vampires.
Yeah, vampire bush. They don't shave down there.
Actually,
vampires, they don't do
yeah,
that.
no, you get a full frontal
You
vampire.
actually have to invite them to shave down there. You have to be like, I beckon you to shave down
Yeah,
there.
or else they won't
and
do
then
it.
you have to actually set out the razor
Yeah.
and the coochie cream.
It's also set in a horrible, uncomfortable time.
Yeah, 1890s.
Yeah.
In where
Europe. Oof.
just rats and doo doo
yeah,
everywhere.
there
are-
I mean, just
there are
the
a lot
plague,
of rats in the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there were so many rats around this time, and even before that, there were even in paintings they'd paint rats in the background.
Yeah.
Like there was just rats
In
everywhere.
hopes that the rats wouldn't eat their painting.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like, don't eat 'em.
Yeah. Oh, I recognize my own in that painting. Yeah, it is. The movie is rat crazy,
Yeah.
and it's
they
awesome.
used
It's well
real
made.
rats in the movie,
They,
yo.
somewhere between 2,000 and 5,000 rats were used throughout the making of this movie, which actually pales to. There's a
Well,
1979.
hold on. How do you lock down the set? Aren't you just releasing them into L.A. or wherever this was
Wherever they
filmed?
shot it.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
if
like
it's in a warehouse, you got to check, make sure there's no holes. I mean,
Yeah.
they contained
They have
them somehow.
trained rats, though.
Oh,
There's
yeah, they're super
movie
smart.
trained. Yeah,
And it was a mix too of some of them are trained and some of them were less trained.
Ooh, just like the
Wild
firefighters.
rats?
Just
Yeah.
like the we had some of them are prisoners.
Yeah, exactly.
They have
And
some prisoners out there, prison rats.
the actors have had plenty of interviews where they talk about like the smell. They're just peeing and pooping everywhere. So what are you gonna do? You're still dealing with rats.
If I were an actor on the set, I'd do the same thing.
yeah. At this point, if they're doing it, Willem
Yeah, yeah.
Dafoe, he's probably squatting down,
Why not?
getting one out.
Next movie is called Nickel Boys.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Which I've
Look at
nicknamed
this photograph.
Black Wonder Years.
Oh, I like that. Oh my God, Kanisha Cooper, I love it.
And I guess, in which from the trailer, it's kind of confusing. Of
Does Daniel
what,
Stern reprise his VO role?
The VO, yeah. No, it's actually Fred Savage in a weird twist.
Oh my God, people hate Fred Savage now. He's a Gravy, right?
Yeah. People
Was
like
it-
him. He
was
got
it-
me tooed out of yeah.
Fred Savage used to direct a lot of movies of these
TV shows.
grabbing boobies everywhere.
Yeah,
That
he's
could be-
grabbing them?
Yeah, always
Yeah.
grabbing everybody.
He got me tooed out of a bunch
yeah,
of
he
work.
did. And they're
Yeah,
like, get out of
8,
here,
10 years
Savage.
ago.
He's
Yeah.
like, I can't help myself. I love Winnie Cooper's ass.
I didn't know Fred had it in him.
Oh yeah,
That's what shocked people. Yeah,
Fred's
yeah.
a little more Rittenhouse than we thought. Yeah, he's a right wing tough guy. I think.
Apparently, yeah.
So, do you know what Nickel Boys is about?
I know it's an adaptation of a book by Colson Whitehead, who is a great writer. I read several of his books. Have not had a chance to see Nickel Boys, but he did a book, Underground Railroad, that got turned into a really good Amazon series. I think another thing he did got adapted recently, so he's on a good run as a writer. And Nickel Boys, when that came out, that won all sorts of awards, book wise. So it makes sense that the movie would be could be adapted well because it's good source
Nice.
material to work from.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
But it does also, it looks like another period piece about a time in America, super racist time, maybe set in the 40s or 50s.
Yeah, he sets a lot of stuff that goes back. The Underground Railroad is, obviously it's applied in
Okay.
the title. It's like late 1800s. I think Nickel Boys is early 1900s. He did another
Okay,
one, The
so
Intuitionist,
early,
which is
okay.
like early 1900s. That one's about, he wrote a book that's about like elevator operators in the early days of elevators. And now there's like a black woman in the city who's like the only black woman elevator, not operator.
Oh, that actually sounds interesting.
Not operator, repair person. But they have different styles of repair, and she's an intuitionist when it comes to elevator repair. It's a strange book that's
That sounds
fascinating.
good, though.
Yeah, The Intuitionist. This guy's a good writer, Colson Whitehead.
That sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
We know an elevator repairman named Pudge.
There
Not black. No, he's not black, nor a woman.
You still might like
yeah,
the book.
and he loves
Yeah.
fishing.
You
Shout out to Pudge.
Still may enjoy
Pudge,
the book.
the fisherman elevator repairman.
Yeah.
That's a resume.
We love you, Pudge.
And if you ask him if there's any women in his industry, he'll say absolutely not.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe that part's
He
accurate.
died with
Her
this
trying
one
to
lady
get him
back
there.
in the day. Like, he died with this one black lady.
Yeah.
She was the lady.
She did it. She was the one lady.
You
She
gotta
died.
be tough to be the only lady elevator repairman
In
or
the early
woman,
1900s.
and you're black.
Yeah,
and you're
like-
black.
yeah.
You're toughest lady in the world.
Like 1930
Yeah.
Chicago or whatever, or Philadelphia.
So
What's the name of that book?
The Intuitionist.
The Intuitionist.
Yeah.
next movie, a movie called A Real Pain. which I've nicknamed Two White Dudes Go on a Trip.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Whitey's in Europe.
Yeah. The two white dudes backpack through Europe and find themselves.
Yeah,
Come on.
Jesse Eisenberg and whoever
the one from Succession, Kieran Culkin.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I don't like Kieran Culkin.
You don't like him?
I don't like his face.
Well, not much you can do about that.
Something about his face. I have nothing against the man. Just
he's gonna have to pull an ogre face to change that.
The only Culkin I like is Macaulay.
Yeah.
I'm a Macaulay man.
What about Rory? This poor guy over here.
I don't
No
care
one
about
ever
it.
thinks
There's
about
only
Rory.
one McCulkin, and we all know who it is.
Ooh,
Anybody else? That's not my McCulkin.
This one is written and directed by Eisenberg, and it is exactly like you described. Just two white guys going through Europe and
And then they have a falling out at some point, but then they gotta get back together.
And
right?
then at the
I'm
end, they're
sorry,
like,
bro, and then they hug and they're like,
better
we
friends
learned
than ever.
a lot about this. I learned to be present with my family.
Exactly. It did get incredible reviews at festivals. It had an okay theatrical run, and I think it maybe just this weekend came out on Hulu. So this is also now available to watch at home. A decent amount of these movies are available to watch right now, which is pretty cool, pretty interesting.
Also in the movie, and they show this in the trailer, Jesse Eisenberg has a son that he's like FaceTiming with, and he like left to go.
That guy doesn't look like he has a son.
Let me put this out there. I have no friends that I know good enough and that I'm good enough friends with to go on a month-long European backpacking trip and leave my family and my son behind to help my buddy work through his problems.
What's he, single? Yeah, if I ask you to do that, you tell me to piss off. I got to work through my problems. You got to come with me.
I'm going to stay with my family and my son. I'm not going to FaceTime and be like, I'm sorry, I'm helping my buddy who's 32 years old work through his emotional problems.
I'm sorry I'm missing your 8th birthday.
He's sad. My buddy's sad.
Yeah. He's trying to figure life out.
So we're going to go to Morocco. Get out of here.
But it looks like a comedy with drama.
Yeah, road comedy drama, exactly. It's you described it perfectly, actually.
Next up, The Substance, which we talked about with Demi Moore. My wife wanted me to go. I think this is maybe at the Enzion, or she's like, this. I've heard a lot of good things, and I watched it, and I'm like,
it is my favorite movie of 2024.
Oh, really?
It is such a wild, crazy, well-made movie. It sets up its own little weird world that it has and it does this great thing where it establishes right away through the characters 4 or 5 rules that the character has to do, and they're very clear. And then you see them do the rules, and you see what happens. And then, of course, the next step is what happens when the rules get broken. And the rules break one at a time, and the consequences get worse and worse. And the final 10 minutes of the movie is like, no matter what happens in the first, 2 hours, you will not be able to predict what happens in the last 10, 15 minutes. It's so wild.
I think I could predict it.
Even
the wild ones. Like when people give me wild scenarios, like you can't predict the end. I was like, I'm already there.
And then he nailed it. I'm
already there, man.
I already wrote it.
So this is
a lot of people in the chat room just to help you out are saying incredible.
It's so good.
Yeah, like people love that movie.
And that one is, excuse me, it was distributed by a company called Mubi, M-U-B-I. They have their own streaming service.
Movies? That's EJ has those. They're humongous.
I'm trying to reduce my movies.
Massive nipples. And they're hairy on the end.
Oh, right around like a squished spider.
Like you could almost twist them into a rhino's horn.
You could like on Amazon Prime, you could technically subscribe to a 7-day movie trial, watch The Substance, and then unsubscribe, and then not have to pay anything to watch The Substance. That's one way it's out there. But it's also just available for rent or purchase normally. So it's readily available. And also, I think it got a re-release this weekend in conjunction with the nominations coming out. So it's playing again like the Winter Park Regal and stuff like that. Definitely worth seeing in a theater because it has a great score. And if you can see it in a theater with people, the reactions of other people around you will be as entertaining as the movie itself, because this is a movie that elicits reactions.
I watched it at 3 times the speed illegally here at the studio.
As God intended.
And I can tell you the Dennis Quaid scene is
Dennis Quaid is so
Kupo
good
J
at this.
hit the nail on the head. There is a scene, I don't want to say any more about it, but Dennis Quaid has an eating scene. That's
it's so disgusting. Oh, my goodness.
Phenomenal.
This movie, for some people with a weaker stomach, to be fair, trigger warning, it gets gross at times.
I thought the ending was going to gross.
The ending is insane. But the
can
food
understand,
stuff.
You can understand how I would like that, even though I watched it on 3 times the speed.
3 times.
You can understand how I would like that, right?
It's
like
good.
it's way more up my alley than any movie anybody's ever said.
It's so over the top.
Yeah.
You would love this movie. The food stuff in the movie is somehow the grossest part of the movie.
I don't
which is
know if
astounding.
Tom will like it though.
Well,
but I think you should watch it.
when I
Yeah.
first saw
Actually,
it,
that's fair. You know, it's fair.
okay, let me tell you
That's
my
fair.
opinion when I saw the trailer. I thought to
Oh
myself,
yeah, that's right. You saw the trailer.
I saw the trailer and I thought to myself, I'm like, well, this kind of movie where a substance gets presented to the main character that opens up limitless possibilities, like the movie Limitless or
like
whatever.
the Limitless
Yeah,
film.
yeah,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever. There's always that.
That's exactly what I thought of.
Hey,
too.
if you take this medication, it'll, but be careful because you have to be responsible.
Right.
And then,
Yeah.
and then of course
Yeah.
they're not responsible and they're
Remember,
abusing
don't
it.
feed them after midnight.
That's the fun of it. You want to see him break the rules,
Yeah.
and then bad things happen.
Yeah, never take 2 Adderall. You'll get too fat.
Will I?
So then, anyway, and then I was like, oh, it's been done before, but you're telling me there's a
Well,
swerve.
yeah, there is a bit of a swerve in that setup, which they do not reveal in the trailer. The trailer, to be fair, the trailer sells you one thing, and then the movie is actually slightly different.
Oh, I didn't
in
know-
a very interesting way.
I didn't know about any of the gross stuff until people started telling me, which is why I sought it out.
Yeah. It's
Like
yes.
the trailer to me didn't.
doesn't give you any sense of like the
Yeah.
body horror.
That's
stuff
not why
gonna
I
happen.
went and found it.
Yeah.
You know, like the curiosity in me, it drives me crazy when
Yeah.
I can't see something. I'll go to it. I'm like, I gotta see what this is all about.
Yeah.
That's why I watched Terrifier 3 on three times the speed, so I could see all of the gory parts and see what people are talking
Just
about.
get it
you
over
know?
with.
Yeah.
And so
Was Terrifier 3 nominated for Best Picture this year?
no,
Oh,
no,
shame.
no.
You know what? I will say
So-
it's a better movie than a lot of the other movies out there that people tried to say were good.
It came out the same weekend as Joker 2 and
And it
made more
crushed
money.
it.
So,
yeah,
so
it's
there's
the,
that.
I mean, for what it is, it's fine. It's not a good movie,
but
it's,
for what it is,
it's
it works.
fine,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
So I'm curious, Chris, and these movies that you've seen, would you recommend me watching The Substance or The Brutalist?
Boy, that's tough.
As if I was going to check out one of these.
well, the substance is
or,
easier.
or
Yeah.
I mean, do you watch Challengers too? Yeah.
Challengers, of those 3 movies, I think you would like Challengers the most, and that's the most fun of those. Although The Substance is such a wild time. The difference between The Substance and The Brutalist is The Substance, like it's crazy. It's a crazy movie. The
I like
Brutalist,
the overly lit, sterile, almost like the bathroom scenes
the
in
bathroom,
Substance
yeah,
are like,
they're like bathrooms in
and
The
then
Shining.
you can hear it, like it almost kind of messes with your brain.
Yeah.
I like,
the look, there's a very strong Stanley Kubrick
Yeah,
vibes, like
it
the
does.
long carpets and
Yeah,
hallways and
yes,
stuff. Yeah,
yes.
The Substance, a lot of strong movie references in The Substance, to like The Fly and things
there's
like
tropes and stuff that you pick up on in your brain will make you like it.
that. Yes, like the person who made it, this French lady, has great film taste for sure. Coralie Fargier, I believe her name is. But The Brutalist is more of like, this is a film. This is
Okay.
This is kind of a big piece of art. I'm sitting down to watch a quote important movie. Not to put importance on it, but it just
I
feels
think you
like
did a
that.
good job explaining. Yeah,
The difference, right? Yeah,
of
The
those,
Substance is like a genre film, and the other one is a.
I kind of want to see The Brutalist now just to see what the set design
Oh,
and
the sets are beautiful. It's such
Yeah.
a beautiful film. There's a train. There's a one-shot train sequence in the middle of the movie, towards the middle, that I've never seen a movie do it this way, and it's so just beautiful. And it's also shot on what they call, I'll throw this out there, Brutalist is shot on VistaVision, which is essentially the original precursor to IMAX. So it's like high definition film from the 50s, and the story is set in the 40s and 50s.
so it gives it that.
That gives it that patina. It's that
Interesting.
warm grain.
So it's like almost like when Jack White says, "Hey, this album is influenced by the 60s, so all of the amps and guitars I use
Yes.
were all from the 60s
Yes.
to give it that authentic flavor."
I love when like Adrian Young does that. He only uses like
Yeah.
analog equipment to make music, and it sounds like
You're
it's
kind
from
of
the
selling
70s.
The Brutalist to me, to tell you the truth.
It's a
Just-
fantastic film,
but long, just long.
It is long. Just be prepared for long. It does have an intermission, which is great.
I'll run it on 3 times the speed.
Good to go. And the theater worked out great for me. I went to the bathroom. I went out with my Benjamin out there. I went to the bar,
Yeah.
got a drink.
Go
The second
toot a
half,
little bit.
I was flying high for the
Yeah.
second half. It was
Couple more
great,
Miller
man.
Lights,
Yeah, it was
I'm good.
awesome.
Yeah.
So I got to ask you a question, Chris. So with Wicked is the last movie we didn't mention.
Okay.
Obviously, we've all seen it.
What's your nickname for Wicked?
Wizard of Oz prequel.
I was gonna say Ebony and Ivory Witches. yeah, I would say Ebony and Ivory Witches.
But the fact that it's up for Best Picture and it's only the part one of the movie tells me, like, how could it win Best Picture if it's only half of technically the whole movie?
Correct.
Right? Has there ever been a Best Picture that's only been a part one?
If it's known that a part 2 is coming, no, that has not happened. Godfather and Godfather Part 2 both won Best Pictures, but when The Godfather came out, no one knew Part 2 was coming, and when Part 2 won, it was the first sequel to ever win an Oscar Best Picture anyway. So yes, like Dune Part 1 came out, right? And it didn't work out for Dune. Dune Part 1 came out, and it won a bunch of awards, but none of the big ones. And people thought, yeah, sure, they'll wait for Part 2 to come out, which came out last year. It was great. People liked it, but for whatever reason, everyone forgot about it when it came to nominations, so it hasn't really been nominated for a bunch of stuff. So could that happen for Wicked Part 2? Sure. They're probably waiting for the second part. Maybe it'll get nominated next year. Maybe it won't, and it'll just lose out on everything. But I think the odds of it winning for a Part 1 are slim to none, and that's nothing to do with the quality of the film and everything to do with, just like you said, there's a part 2 right it's coming in November,
because the story
it's half a story
is already obviously the play that is adapted into a movie, so it's,
and the book, there's also the book,
so it's not part 2 is not the sequel to Wicked, it's the
second half of it.
You know, it's like Brutalist if it was part 1 and part 2 after the intermission,
right? If they release the second half like a year from now,
but
more brutal.
I do feel like a lot of people are looking at Wicked and thinking that it should win some awards, but best musical,
for sure. Production design, maybe. I mean, costume, maybe for acting for Grande or Erivo.
Most
to act and sing is hard.
Most wrecked homes by a co-star.
Tore
a woman's world apart.
Yes,
with a new baby.
But before we leave, let's plug Who's the Baddie podcast.
Yes,
I love this podcast.
Daniel's episode's coming out on Wednesday.
On Wednesday. Daniel Dennis is on this week's episode of Who's the Baddie, and we're talking about the movie Coco, which is available on Disney Plus if people want to watch it ahead of time.
You know I love the movie Coco.
And you know what he hates. Spoiler alert.
You guys know what I hate.
Disregard for musical instruments.
Yeah, it's a good-ass movie. And,
it's a great movie.
Revisiting it, I actually was so glad. You know what? That's why I liked that podcast. That podcast forces me to revisit movies. Mm-hmm. I am a movie person. It's just my anxiety can't. It fights me from sitting still.
Yeah.
But once I got into Coco, I was like, oh, this is so good. What a great story.
It's like a nice warm blanket to watch.
And I found a
movie.
lot of stuff in there I hadn't seen before. So yeah, go download that and like it, subscribe to their podcast, guys.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Help out your local movie podcasts.
Yeah, it's everywhere podcasts are found.
Spotify, Apple,
and of course Cinema Crespediso, Chris Crespo's podcast. If you want to hear all about movies.
Yeah, this month on Crespediso, patreon.com/Crespediso, it is back the Blue-uary. We're putting out episodes on Dirty Harry, Bad Lieutenant.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we're doing cop movies this month. So,
good. My dad loves some cop movies. Hell yeah.
These are the good ones too.
Yeah. Ultra-violence.
Big
guns.
Harvey Keitel naked yelling at nuns. It's great.
Yeah, man.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more corporate time.
All right. Got it. Good job.
Perfect.
Y'all.
That was funny.
That was really funny. And we got through all of them, which is nice.
Yeah, 10 movies.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you for being here, buddy.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
That was super.
It was great.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Are we doing any more before?
Yeah, our guest should be in here in a minute.
Yeah, that's right.
And we'll do that, and then go over to.
So I will leave us on.
All right, fellas. Well, thank you, sir. Great
See you, buddy. Good seeing you.
Dude.
Tell all of your guys we said hey.
I will. Thank you.
And I'll schedule with Matt or my episode.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think it's going to be
Oh yeah, sorry. We should have talked about that.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, dude. Yeah, no problem. Appreciate it, buddy.
What's up, Christine? I didn't see you pop in there. Or maybe I did. I don't know. Brain's a little rotten today. Let me save that one. Yeah, you know, I very much... Chris Crespo is, like, freaking awesome. I love that guy. Any news about the pizza party? Nothing as of right now. I really need you guys, though, to sort of pick a date because I'm the easy outlier. Like I can do any Friday. So if you guys want to kind of, I need somebody to be, point of contact for you guys to, then email me, dan@tomanddan.com, and I will take care of everything, whether it is, pizza, beers, whatever you guys want. Noise. Are they back in town? Or are they still or is Sam is she back in town, or are they still on their trip? All right, let me go use the restroom.
Cool. We'll do the interview with Chad for Tuesday 1.
Cool.
And then after we're done with that, it could be Tuesday 1 and 2. We'll see.
Okay.
But after we're done with that, then we'll just grab a bar or whatever, then sit back down with Tony and knock that out.
Yep. And then we're good.
And then we just put it all together.
Yep. All right. Yeah, and there's really no rush, guys. I mean, if you guys want to think about it a little bit. Christine says, if I can get enough interest, want to do a BDM D&D event. Yeah, I'd be down to play with you guys, 100%. I'm down. Pretty much down to do whatever.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on, man? What's going on? How are you? We are live, but I just like to say that. Good to see you, man. Daniel, pleasure to meet you. Thanks for being here, y'all. Make yourself at home. We're live on YouTube and Twitch, though, right now, just so, you know.
Sounds good. Do you want to water?
Okay. Thanks for being here, y'all. Very cool to meet you.
Nice to meet you. How's it going?
Good.
It is,
Good.
Not bad.
Yeah.
A little colder out there than I like it, but can't complain about that, really.
Hey, I'm coming from New York, so that's a
Yeah.
That's a long.
I like just traveling by skateboard forever now. Like it'll take me a while to
I'm
get there.
sure some people. I'm gonna put you on camera here. Oh wow, look at that. It's perfect. All right, Tony Munjet. How are you, buddy? I've missed you.
We're gonna record this. This will air tomorrow, so we'll be able to plug the Wednesday. Yeah.
So he's doing it at the the BDM that owns
Yep.
the
Yeah. CFL skate park. Yeah, I got all the information. So we'll, and then the documentary comes out when?
Probably this summer. We don't have a set date.
Okay.
I'm just
Alright.
kind of touring it around now.
And the book's out now, though.
Book's out now, yeah.
Available anywhere like Amazon.
ChadCaruso.com and
Okay.
Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to push everybody to your website?
Yeah,
first?
that'd be
Okay.
good, yeah.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Push him to Pornhub instead. You go to YouPorn. There's a better algorithm over there. You know, get some
Well,
decent.
You gotta give him your ID now.
Yeah, I did it. I gave him your ID. I gave him your ID.
Really?
I'm now Danny Monjet.
You AI my face.
Yeah,
on
yeah,
your
yeah,
face
yeah.
and
But
then,
it's brown Donald Trump face. All right.
You know, that ID thing.
I almost called you yesterday to get you to do a drop for me as Trump, because I wanted to take the Tom and Dan website or the app down for 8 hours, and then you put it back up, and then you'd be like, "Thanks to me," you know, and then like, "Daniel, it's a back up," and then Dan and Tom. And
Brown Trump's a character like. Oh,
yeah, Brown Trump.
Trying to sit here like,
He's
what?
like, what the fuck?
What
Like,
am
no.
I?
Yeah,
I could kind of figure it out.
yeah. All right, hold on here.
What did he bring me to? This
Tony,
is
I'm gonna fix it.
ACT, right?
Yes,
Yes. No cursing on this one, unfortunately.
That's good.
Although I do have some work to do. And earlier I was a little lighter on a Monday than I should have been. Said some things I shouldn't have. Okay, I think we're good. If you want headphones, they're there. You don't have to wear them though. I mean,
All right.
I can make you sound decent without them. All right, I think we're good. Mr. Van, would you like to begin?
Yep.
Here we go. 3.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube right now. We'd love for you to join us at Tom and Dan Live on both.
So, Daniel, you know how I like epic adventures?
You do.
Especially when they involve, like, a feat
Yes.
Of-
You do love a feat of strength.
of
Yeah, yeah.
strength and
Feats of
endurance.
strength.
And
Yeah.
our next guest actually did what I love so much.
Okay.
It's like he skateboarded from Venice Beach
You never
to
talk about skateboarding.
Virginia Beach.
Oh, feats of strength.
Yeah,
Yeah,
feats
gotcha,
of strength.
gotcha.
Set a Guinness Book of World Record for, I guess, longest skateboarding distance in the United States.
That's
We'll ask him about
yeah.
wrote a book about it called Pushing Through America, which
Nice.
is available at chadcaruso.com. There's a documentary on this summer coming out.
Yes.
And with us in studio, Chad Caruso. How you doing,
Hey.
Chad?
How's it going? Thanks for having me.
Hey,
Good,
thanks for
good.
being here, man. Appreciate the time.
Also, Tony Moonjet's with us as well.
Yeah.
I didn't break any records.
I know that.
What? You know, you break records in my heart, baby. You break records in my heart. I love you.
So, Chad, let's talk about it. How did this whole thing start? When did you come up with the idea, hey, I'm going to skateboard across America, Venice to Virginia Beach?
Yeah, so I think about maybe 2 years ago or so, I had the idea I was going to skate across Italy with my cousin.
Okay.
Much shorter, way thinner, you know?
Tiny boot.
Yeah, a day or two, you know?
Okay,
It's like Florida basically.
Yeah. Hey, I'm
It's
in
the
Rome.
Florida of Europe.
Hey, look at me.
Yeah, and then, COVID happened, so no flying really, and kind of just put it on the back burner.
Okay.
And then it just festered in my mind, and I just kept thinking about it. Started looking up if it's been done across the U.S. and saw, like, no one really did it cleanly for Guinness. And then I just became obsessed.
So, did you already have a propensity to, like, just be able to skate long distances? Because that's a skill on its own. Most people aren't in it, like, or you skate up to a particular ramp or whatever, but traveling through via skateboard.
The idea of
maybe a longboard, but
the idea of a person using a skateboard as like a mode of transportation to me has kind of been like, especially around Florida, has not been really a thing because we have like really crappy roads for the most part.
right.
Yeah.
And
Too many cracks
Too
in
many
the
cracks in the sidewalk. We have
Nothing
like
smooth.
oak trees are ripping our
Sand.
sidewalks apart. So
And
like
too many crackheads.
Yeah, and too many crackheads. Exactly. Your conservatism is showing. Okay. No, but it's like you don't see it. So you see people doing tricks. You see people skate in the parks, but you don't see people like in the movies. There was always the trope of the guy that would like put his helmet on, grab his board. I'm off to work, and I'm like, that's not a thing.
It was like,
you know,
like an 80s thing where
Yeah.
you like grabbed your skateboard and you went. But so did you tell yourself like, man, I can go distances? Like I'm just good at
that
it?
is a skill.
I had no idea. Before this trip, I never pushed a couple of miles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
no
So,
idea.
all right,
I was
yeah.
only doing tricks for like 20 years or so, so maybe I had, a little bit of strength.
But you
built
are a
in.
skater, right?
Yeah, I've been
Okay.
doing that for a while.
Okay, so it's not like
Yeah.
you were like, hey, what's the
No.
skateboard thing? Hey, I'm going to give it a shot. Hey, it's still got. You know?
And I'm from New York, so kind of weaving in traffic and
Yeah.
stuff.
No one never guessed. I'm joking. So you came up with this idea, like, and why Venice to Virginia Beach?
The
like,
alliteration is good.
the alliteration is good, and
Yeah.
VB
Double
to
Vs.
VB.
Yeah,
Yep.
there you go. I love it.
And this is how stupid I am and know so little
Tell us
about
more
America.
about how stupid you are.
Well, is it on the level as far like I think in my mind I'm like Venice is like South California, Virginia Beach, but it seems a little more north. Why those two locations?
Yeah, in theory, it's like one of the worst ways you can go.
Oh God!
Yeah,
So you
like, I
picked the
wouldn't
worst way.
recommend
Like no
it.
one's ever done it.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it, but I wanted to start at the iconic Venice Beach skate park.
Yeah.
And Virginia Beach is actually a pretty iconic skateboarding town. And I was partnered with this company, Jackalope Fest. So that's where the festival was. So just kind of merged it together.
yeah.
Otherwise,
Had to
I
do
may
it.
not have.
Had to do it. It's
yeah.
like, yeah, you're going to have to drive your skateboard right into our company meeting at the end, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So
I got it. I got it.
with these kind of feats, and of course with Guinness involved,
That's huge.
there's an element of they won't give you the record unless it's documented, and like there's a lot of stipulations to be in the Guinness book or for them to give you the record. So how did that whole aspect? Did you have to have someone document this, or you have to document it yourself? Like how'd they make
Don't
sure
you
you
have
didn't
to-
cheat?
You have to hire a Guinness person to come, and they have to fly in, right?
Well, normally, but I don't think they could have someone take 2-month trip across the U.S.
Yeah. You'd have to pay them a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
even to get them in for an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I
thousands.
would like that. That's a hell of a job. They're like,
Right.
what's your next assignment? I'm going out with a skateboarder for 2 months, and I got to make sure he gets
The Guinness guy is like taking number 2s in the woods every other day
Yeah.
for 2 months.
No, so I took I was very diligent. I had to wear a GPS watch and mark every time I stopped and began. It was a lot to keep track of.
You couldn't do this.
No.
No, you could
well,
do
first
it.
I
You could
cheat
do it.
easily.
No, you
I'd
could do
easily
it.
cheat.
You couldn't do the start and stop on the watch. Like you'd be able to
I'd forget.
He could do the
I
he
do
could
that
live
running
up.
all the time.
He could go around the world.
This is the perfect Tom Van challenge, like going from 0 to 1,000%.
to hero.
Like,
0 to hero challenge.
Never skated a mile. I'm gonna go cross the country.
So okay, let's get into the planning aspect of. Did you plan to stop at skate parks to promote yourself along the way? The roads you had to take.
I would
You can't be on major highways.
I would
which,
stop at strip clubs.
Well, so that's the thing with like planning trips like this. If you're on foot, like people have done it running.
But you're an
before.
overthinker
Yeah.
too.
They call it the
Sometimes,
gump
at some
and some-
point, you got to just grab your board and hit it.
Yeah, but like the quickest, most efficient roadways in the United States are highways that you can't just be skateboarding on the side of the road.
I see people
You know,
doing it
because
though.
you'll be killed by some
Yeah.
guy looking at his phone.
There's
you know.
always that homeless person in a hospital gown walking on the interstate. In a hospital gown. It's like I
Like
can see your
Halloween.
ass. And the 18-wheeler goes like, yeah. And you see the gown flapping.
So how'd you even go about planning the roads you would take?
It took a long time. I basically walked through on Google Maps I looked at each street and kind of saw if it was a dead end, a dirt road, something like that.
Oh, the whole way?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
on
trying.
Street
'cause
View?
it's-
Did you use
it's-
Street View?
Yeah.
Do you see
Street
that guy
View.
with a sock on his pecker on Street View?
Come on.
It's all over the internet.
Yeah.
And
That
then,
guy's a deviant.
and so of course you're on a skate. What kind of skateboard?
So I did it on basically a regular skateboard. I just did a little bit bigger wheels.
Okay.
So if I did a longboard lower to the ground, it probably would have been much easier.
I hope they were
Bigger wheels,
full on Pirelli tire.
But
rims.
yeah, I wanted to keep it. Like I've been skateboarding my whole life, so I wanted to keep it as a skateboard.
But so this is why what I mean when I say this is a Tom Van challenge, because you would think, right, that for something this big, you would be very prepared. You're trying to get the best board you can get. You're
Yeah,
trying to
I
bet the
imagine
best-
like a long board, you
Yeah,
know.
chat, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
This is an old board that you had in your trunk or
Oh,
something
yeah.
like that?
Yeah, it was sitting in there for a couple of years.
I like that.
Spray painted it black and
And hit it.
It was
Yeah.
it was an old school like fishtail, right?
yeah, kind of like an egg shape.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it
like
wasn't
me. It's like he was standing on me.
So you start off Venice Beach. Did you have a bunch of people see you off? I mean,
I don't want that. I don't want any problems.
you contact a
in case
bunch-
I decide to bail? I don't want
Yeah.
anyone cheering
Yeah.
me on because then those people are going to hate me forever.
So let's talk about the start of it. And when did this whole adventure start? by
Yeah,
the
it
way?
started in 2 years ago.
Okay.
March, I believe 21st was when I started, and that company Jackalope met up and they gathered some people at the start. But I initially just went out there like thinking I'm just going by myself, like I'm just starting by the ocean and like I'll be there alone. Luckily, some people showed up and kind of made it a thing. But yeah,
That it's funny that you weren't gonna make this grand adventure Guinness Book of World Record attempt. Even you're just like, I'll just start by myself. I won't even call my family.
Well, no, you gotta call your family in case you
friends.
die. That's what you do when you go to a state park. You're like, I'm going hiking.
Like maybe the news, like the news will cover anything. By
Yeah,
the way,
they
they
will.
are desperate.
Nothing is going on.
You can get them to get out there. The news reporters like, we're here with Chad. He's about to go across America. You're just gonna go start by yourself.
The thing that we've forgot to mention is that Chad has a YouTube channel, so he was doing daily vlogs.
Okay.
So at least there's like, if nobody was at the skate park at the beginning, you would have had that blog.
right. It built as I was going and getting some
Like,
promotion.
how did you find time
and,
to edit your videos, or did you have an editor or somebody helping you, or were you just like
No.
you'd hit the hotel and then edit all night and then?
He's
So
doing
I
it right
went-
now.
I did daily vlogged every single day, and the whole trip was done completely solo. So I'd push like 10, 12 hours a day, find my hotel, and then edit 3-4 hours, upload it, every day for 57 days.
So
Holy smokes!
So let's talk about the roads. So you get on your skateboard, you kick out of Venice Beach, right?
Yep.
And there's always these.
iPod on?
The-
you listen?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Okay, so from talking to like endurance runners that set off on doing like 100 miles or whatever, the beginning is always the worst because psychologically it F's with you because there's such a tremendous amount to go that
The task at hand.
They, like all of a sudden you like the first couple days like and you're working your ass off and then all of a sudden it like a depression sets in that you're like, oh my god, like it's only been 5 days and 5 days straight skateboarding is already the most I've ever done and I've got 2 months to go
There's
straight
50
of this.
more days of this.
So
yeah.
how, did that set in for you?
Oh, yeah, that's a great description of it.
Okay.
After everyone, the big party,
Hold on,
everyone says
Tom
goodbye.
I'm obligated to put Tom's face back on when you give him a compliment. Hold on, let me see if I can go there. All right, look at the camera. All right, there we go. All right, now. Okay, now.
By the way,
That was an excellent description, Tom.
even before I said it, knew it was going to be great.
Yeah, you've made descriptions great again, Tom. I appreciate that.
I could be president one day.
Yeah, you could.
Now more than ever. Anyway, so go back. The first couple days, almost a depression sets in about the amount of time left. Right?
Not even like a couple hours, like an hour.
No, an
Oh
hour
my
into
God,
it.
you're weak like me.
No, you go.
You're weak
Yeah.
like me. Oh my God, like 25 minutes in, I'm like texting my wife. I'm like, I don't know. I don't
What
know.
were you thinking?
I started, everyone's there. It's this big party, celebration, launch you off. I've been building up to it for months.
Yeah.
And then you push away a couple miles. They skated with me, and then they slowly drifted away, each person.
yeah, they're like, I'm going back to work.
And then
This is stupid.
and then it's just quiet, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to be doing this for like 2 months straight, just
Yeah.
alone. It like
Yeah,
sank in that moment. Like, oh, this is not
Yeah.
just an idea anymore. I'm doing this.
So let's talk about, I mean, obviously this is all in the book, Pushing Through America, Chad Caruso. Also, he's doing an event at CFL Skate Park, a BDM-owned skate park.
Yeah, man.
On Wednesday. When's the event, Chad?
Yeah, this Wednesday, 7 p.m.
Wednesday at 7, so you can go out to the skate park.
Yep. Go
And,
support your local skate park, man. Help these guys out.
Yeah, we have books for sale there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
and,
books.
Oh, that's awesome.
you can get it signed by Chad, I'm sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
say you don't sign things. Say because he's assuming. Like, I want you to shut him down. Shut him down at any point you can. Look at him and be like, I don't do that.
So let's talk about the roads. Were there times where it like how diligent were you in your mind? Like, let's say you reach an area, a road that is falling into disrepair, and then you're like, well, I'm gonna have to pick up my board and just walk.
I do a lot of
100
walking.
yards.
I'd be walking a lot.
Yeah, like what are the rules? Or do you have to I literally have to skate around this obstacle somehow?
I
just
gotta
so I can
ollie
be
it. I gotta ollie over every route.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what were the rules that Guinness set? Because I'm sure they told you, like, you can't travel.
I hope it was like if you take 1 foot off that board. I mean 1 toe off that board.
No,
you're out.
that was the rule. You
Oh,
got to
really?
push every single inch across the country. So I would, if I hit a dirt road, I would turn around and go 10 miles back out of the way and find another way around it.
No, really?
Yeah.
10 miles? No.
Or if I'm pushing up,
God, I
if I'm
kill
pushing
myself.
up a
I kill
giant-
myself.
If I'm pushing up a giant hill, I would, come to a dead stop and then start again. You know, I wouldn't like walk up the hill or
Oh,
anything.
no,
You didn't look around and you'd be like, well, no one's gonna know.
There's nobody here. The GPS is still the GPS.
I also wanted to do it for myself. Like, you know,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I finished, I didn't
don't
want
love
to like,
myself that
think,
much.
Like, I didn't really.
I don't care about my own opinion enough. Like, you should really do this for yourself. Like, no, I shouldn't. What are you talking about?
I love lying to myself. I
do
love
too.
lying to myself more than
Yeah,
anybody
and you
else.
know what matters more to me than anything that matters? Like, you know what matters more to me than my own personal opinion of myself? Everyone else's opinion of me.
So, did you like have how much like equipment did you have with you? Like, did you have a giant like backpack filled with stuff in case you had to camp? Like, talk
Comic
about
books.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what you brought with you.
I brought. It's called like a little bivvy. It's basically this little unfoldable, very thin sleeping bag if I needed it.
Okay.
But basically, my goal was to make it to a hotel every day,
Okay.
and I had just the Camelback, one outfit to change into that I swapped out every day.
Stinky.
Deodorant,
Okay,
toothbrush,
yeah.
just like the bare minimum. Skate tool, extra bearings.
Yep.
Now, because
Wheels? You have to carry any wheels?
I did. I didn't change them, but I brought them, so
Yeah.
just extra weight for
Gotcha.
no reason.
Just like underwear. Don't bring them.
I
Don't
bet you're
change.
mad at that.
Yeah.
You-
But I tried to keep it as light as possible because I knew it would wear on my back.
This is awesome.
Every day, yeah.
So now I'm
This
curious.
is super awesome.
When we've talked to people that have done grand adventures before, like paddleboarding down the Mississippi,
That wasn't a great adventure.
come on,
he
That
got
sounds
bat,
awesome.
No, he
Yeah.
got bat poop
Matt
poisoning,
Crofton.
and then
that's right.
it changed him for the rest of his life. He'll never be the same.
But and then
he'll never be the same.
The
again.
guy
Yeah.
that kayaked down the intercoastal
He almost
from
died.
New York.
That's the same guy, isn't it?
And the runner, the motorcycle, and like
Yeah.
and
then we got a Huracan guy.
all these
Gumball 5000.
Yeah, with all these different adventures, like, and of course now with social media, they're blogging about it, and it tends to build steam. And then next thing you know, you're showing up in towns, and your followers know you're there, and they start offering like, "Hey, you need a place to stay. You need people are super
want
generous."
to bang my wife?
So did you end up staying at people's houses because they offered? Because I'm sure a hotel every night for 2 months. I mean, that would
It's called the road, Tom. You wouldn't know anything about it. It's called the road.
I mean, it would cost you thousands and thousands
Yeah.
of dollars, right?
Yeah, I kind of incorporated it into the cost of doing the whole thing because I knew daily vlogging, I couldn't, they're going to want to talk, hang out, have dinner, and I had to be super focused, editing and getting the
You couldn't
video
waste
up.
any
I
time.
couldn't, no.
Okay.
I wanted to, I would have, I've done it on this
Time
trip.
for your beef
but-
stroganoff, you
Yeah.
old granny. I got to edit this video for the teens.
Yeah.
You're right. They want to celebrate with you, drink, and then
Yeah.
you're like, you can't be
can't
hungover. Like, how
I
many?
can't drink. I'm an
Also,
athlete.
you kind of just want to decompress after that long day,
Yeah.
too, by
yeah.
yourself, maybe some ice.
I just want to
you know?
smoke weed and masturbate
yeah.
alone. I got to leave me alone.
What was your goal per day, mileage wise?
I wanted to hit 50 every single day. That was my
50
goal.
miles
50
a
miles
day.
every day.
How much? How long is 50 miles on a skateboard? Around
Depends on the hills and the ground, but probably minimum 8 hours every day.
Was there?
12 was
Oh
the
my
most.
God, man.
Yeah.
What about through?
Would you switch your leg? Or
yeah,
are you goofy
That's
or
something
regular?
that I found
Yep.
super interesting.
I don't know how you do
because
that. I can't do
you
the
taught
other way.
yourself, right?
Yeah.
Before you went, you taught yourself how to push with the other leg, which
I
is
noticed
something
you
that
didn't say
I
that.
can't
That was a
do.
great question, but I will put that. I will stand. Hold on. I'm gonna put the camera on me. I will stand on that question as being a good question.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then were there any stretches of the trip that were harder? I imagine like the desert part of the United States, like through Death Valley area, Arizona, like North Texas and stuff. There's stretches of nothing. And so how do you navigate that? Like, were there roads where you're like, I have to do, 70 miles just to get from one hotel to the other?
Yeah. I had to do 80 2 times in one day to make it, to a hotel.
And was that through like the desert?
Yeah. So the hardest day for me of the whole trip was going through the Sheephole Valley Wilderness. It's like 120 miles, no hotels. It's basically no cars out there even, So
Where is that in the, in the
it's
United
you
States?
make it through Joshua Tree.
Okay.
Yeah, and past there you're just going into nothing.
And is it just like, what's the...
It's one road.
Okay, so like you see in the movies, the long
Yeah.
desert road with
Where you
desert on
shoot a
both sides.
ZZ Top
Winding
video,
into nothing.
right?
And,
Yeah.
You see mountains in the background, and it's just a mirage of ending
Oh
it.
yeah.
And so you're just on
She
the...
got legs.
How many motorists stopped to think that you maybe your car broke down, like to help you? Did anybody...
None.
None.
People,
None.
I wouldn't
You're at a
stop.
skateboard and you're
Yeah.
on the side of
I'm
a
not
desert
gonna-
highway,
yeah.
and no one said like, "Hey, are you okay?"
I'm not
Or-
gonna stop. That guy's good as dead. I'm getting out of here.
Not in the desert, but other times when I'm crossing bridges, people would call the police and be like, "There's a guy, probably like thinking I'm a homeless guy or just
Tony
escaped out of
Hawk
jail or
wants to
something."
kill
Like some
himself.
guy's crossing the bridge on a skateboard. He's
Yeah.
probably gonna jump off or something. Like, go check on him.
People do that.
And- Yeah.
And then, did you have any? How many times did the cops come to check on to see what you were doing?
A few times.
Like,
yeah.
are you allowed to even ride a skateboard on the side of a lot of these roads?
Yeah, you can't do it on like interstates. You know,
Okay.
so you can do highways and stuff like that, service roads. So
And then you just ride in the shoulder?
yeah, so a lot of times
That's where all the garbage is, though.
there were times where there were not even a space big enough for a skateboard, and there would be Mack trucks coming 80 miles an hour, like head on. So I would take the lane and play chicken with them, and basically wave them out of the way, so I could stand my ground and be like, "This is my lane. This is what I gotta do."
Oh my god!
Because I needed the room. You
Oh,
know?
man, I have too
Yeah.
much anxiety for that.
This seems like insanely dangerous
Yeah.
because of like so many people are distracted, look at their phone or whatever, and then they don't see a pedestrian on the side of the road, and then they clip you. I mean, you're done for.
Any close
Yeah.
calls?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. One guy did exactly what you said. He was just, I think, probably texting and veering off onto the shoulder.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to go out of the way, and he's kind of following me, but he caught the wheel and jerked back and just missed me. But that was
That man,
probably the
jelly
closest.
roll.
And then when you have your
Country
headphones
music's jelly
on,
roll.
you know, you're like in the zone, hanging out. You don't really realize, like, you don't have good awareness. And then I would feel like the wind breeze from a truck next to me. Oh shit, I gotta pay attention.
Yeah.
I'm inches from death, certain death.
Yeah,
by
I
the way.
should probably
Yeah.
lower the volume.
So I'm curious to like, how did you get abnormally sore? Like, how'd your body hold up throughout this? Because just like being that much time on a board kicking, it's gotta kill your hips, your back. You know, it's just not a comfortable thing to do. That I'm sure you woke up some mornings and you're like, I can't do it today. And was there any days you just had to rest?
Oh, no rest days.
Okay.
I didn't take one day off.
I
But
like
yeah,
that. That's how I live my
yeah.
life, too.
Yeah.
No rest days. You know, I'll rest when I die.
Yeah. No, and the pain kind of migrated. One day it'd be my lower back, my neck, as I adjusted. But the thing that was steady the whole time was my Achilles. And
I thought you were going to say your belief in God.
and, and plantar fasciitis. That just, my foot was like black and blue and in pain basically the whole time. And you'd start going maybe 5 miles into the day. It would slowly, your adrenaline would start going and it would dissipate a little, but in the mornings I'd wake up and be like,
What
You gotta
was
get
on
moving
eggshells,
again.
you know?
Chat room wants to know what's the weirdest thing you saw while on the road.
Weirdest thing. I mean, plenty of people pulled over and they like asked me for a ride, but it wasn't like a friendly ride. It was more like sex or drugs kind of a ride. Like, hey, you wanna hop
get
in?
in my
know?
car?
Yeah,
Okay,
like,
all
you
right.
can feel the vibe.
You want
for
to get in
sure.
my car and service
Yeah.
me with your mouth, skateboarder?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And so, what was your nutrition
Hey,
like?
Bob Burnquist. Come suck it.
So, because like 50 miles a day
It's a lot, dude.
That's
That's an insane amount. That's a lot to run. That's a lot to bike.
Oh well, yeah. I mean,
But on a skateboard, to me, just the vibration.
so
oh my
rattling
God.
your fillings
Wow.
out.
Yeah, in like Texas, the roads were absolutely brutal. Just the stuff called chip seal, really spaced out, just gritty concrete.
Oh, it's the thicker Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Brutal. So I would have to push downhill. Like my momentum wouldn't even take me. I'd have to push. That's how bad the ground was.
Oh
so
my God.
that would be all 50 miles some days.
Did you
And
ever?
yeah.
You ever have a hill and sit on your board like a little kid and ride it down?
I thought about it.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
still fun,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
matter if you ride or not. It's still a fun thing to do.
How'd you get through the Rockies?
Yeah. So I went south.
Okay.
So yeah, the mountains I hit.
You went through
were-
Texas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Texas. I think the Guadalupe Mountains, and then through Palm Springs. Those were like the two biggest climbs, I think.
And it was just steady pushing that. Like going back to nutrition, like did you have like the stereotypical runner's endurance nutrition, the little gels and
pouches.
just to get your nutrition in, or,
I
you know,
put
or
two
were you eating
non-
fast food? Or
I
what?
use 2 non-hydration tablets in my water, and I can feel the electrolytes in my body.
Yeah. No, I started out like, oh yeah, I'm an endurance athlete and eat healthy this whole time.
You got to get that Mexi melt on the way home.
Yeah, exactly. A couple of days in, I'm just slamming Big Macs, just like
Okay.
2 liter.
Hell yeah.
I hadn't eaten fast food for years before that, but you're in the middle of nowhere, and sometimes it's just Super 8 in the
Feels
McDonald's.
naughty,
and-
doesn't it?
you're burning,
and I'm
burning
like
a million
5,000
calories a day.
calories,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
I mean, you're
just,
going 50 miles, and it feels naughty to stand there in the drive-thru and eat a Big Mac. That's awesome.
I would actually. It was weird. At the end of the day, I would crave a 2-liter ice cold soda for some reason. That was like.
Now,
the real stuff, right? Sugar.
Yeah, the
yeah,
good
yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
yeah.
Oh my God! It's your body telling you you're about to die.
Yeah, exactly.
Get the greatest thing on the planet.
Exactly.
Well, here's an uncomfortable question. You're in the desert. You slam 2 Big Macs.
Oh, I know what I'm doing.
And then you're off for a 50-mile trek
Yeah.
through. There's nothing out there.
Oh yeah.
And then
It's me and the geckos.
and then all of a sudden, those Big Macs are knocking. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's not what I was talking about.
So I'm sure you're bringing toilet paper, and then a lot of roadside, out in the desert doo-doos.
Oh yeah, I'm not too many. I've got a
Okay.
pretty good stomach, but there was
They're
maybe
just-
I made a couple weeks in, and I was like, all right, this is the day.
But I would have fun with it. I'd
Yeah.
find interesting places. To
Yeah, I'm
leave.
like waving at the trucks, not a place to hide. I'm just like, all right,
Yeah.
this is what it is.
Yeah.
Was there any time along the trip that you got close to quitting, or you said, I'm done with this?
Not really. I mean, there was some brutal days, but having the support of everyone and doing it for a nonprofit. And
You didn't have my support.
Yeah, so almost
I just want you to
everyone.
know that. I just want you to know that.
Almost everyone.
Yeah.
And it made it easier to keep going. But there was one day in specific in Texas with the ground I was saying, and just it was.
Probably
I remember
have a-
just looking
you're in
up
a
at
bad
the sky.
mood.
I'm just
Yeah, like
this
people
is
don't even think about
impossible.
what if you're in a bad mood, or what if
Yeah.
something else at home happens, or like I don't know,
Right.
you get some news that's not good.
Mm-hmm.
How do you? I guess you just kind of try to zone into your
Yeah, at the
your
end of the day,
task.
I'm just like, all right, I don't really have a choice. Like, just gotta make it to the hotel.
right.
You know?
What about that last day? Like, describe the last day and finishing it off. How did that go?
Oh well, yeah, a lot of emotions because I was by myself for 2 months. I'm like, oh, this is coming to an end. I'm about to see like hundreds of people and be like completely shift.
And through the 2 months, like
Yeah.
you said, you specifically avoided anybody along the way because
Did you have
were
like a
such
big
schedule.
beard and long hair like Forrest Gump?
I grew up my beard.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
I had to.
you had,
Yeah, yeah.
Because if you show up clean
Yeah.
shaven like you left, and people are like, "Not disappointed."
Yeah.
Not that
Exactly.
good. I want you to be a little dirty.
No, I mean I wasn't a complete recluse.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
During the trip, people were meeting up with me, bringing me lunch.
Okay.
All sorts.
brought
of
you
things.
some fondue.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
Yeah.
and I always wonder, like, when you do something like this, a grand adventure, which I've always
What?
wanted
you
to do
a
in my.
ton of grand
No,
adventures.
like I'm
this
saying-
dude's landed a helicopter in Alaska.
A
He's staying on a volcanic
No,
rock in
no,
Hawaii with
that's
his
not
family.
that's
He's doing the Pineapple Man.
That's
He's
all
doing,
tourist.
but you're
paying some tourist.
A cruise
company.
on Alaska does not count as an
Yeah,
adventure.
yeah,
Yeah, but he
Sorry.
does adventure-y
No.
things.
Nah, I'm talking individual.
You don't have
feat.
time for this. You're going to take 2 months of skateboard
Yeah, when
across
my
America.
sons are grown, I may do something like even stuff that maybe has been done before. I always looked at like that motorcycle trip from like the Keys up to Alaska.
Oh, it's been done before.
Or like the Pan American Road, the longest road. They're talking about from Alaska down to the tip of South America, and you always think that when you're done with it, you're gonna have a new perspective. And you're like, I'm just curious, like when you finish this or when you're close to finish, like what'd you reflect on?
I mean, I think the main lesson I learned from the whole thing was not to pay attention to outside noise. You're in the wilderness for just like days on end by yourself. You start to realize all the chatter, people's opinions, all this stuff kind of just disappears. It gets quiet, So kind of helped me with that and just doing what I want to do and staying focused on it.
Sorry, could you say that again? I wasn't listening.
I kind of felt like that.
we're
when I
so
was
No,
saying
I'm
it.
joking. I'm totally joking because that's a good answer.
I was trying to resist the urge to scroll TikTok. I don't know if you heard of
Sorry.
that.
you
5
were
second
saying-
answer
you were
is a little
saying
too
that,
much
but I-
nowadays.
Yeah,
I
I
got-
was like,
I can't be alone with my own thoughts for more than
did
5
you
minutes.
know Jelly Roll ate his own boogers at a UFC fight? He's just sitting back there eating his boogers right behind Kid Rock.
How
Crazy.
That's
right.
How
It's
did
crazy.
you entertain yourself throughout that month, like 2 months of just being on the road by yourself? Is it all music? Are you listening to audiobooks? Like, what are you listening to?
No audiobooks. I would do a podcast sometimes
Okay.
here and there. But after a while, it's just like, how much content can you listen to?
That's what I
12
say.
hours a
That's
day.
what
You
I'm
know what
saying.
I mean? You're just like, all right, I gotta,
we deserve
turn
that.
it off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we deserve-
yeah. And then so like any particular places throughout the country that you like stopped and you're like, man, this is a beautiful area that I've never been to. Like, you know, like because a lot of us never like explore the United States that much. We go to some tourist destinations and stuff.
I've been in the studio for the last 20 years.
But we're not like traveling through the United States and say like I feel like social media kind of ruined that a little bit for us because it exposed us to so much that people are like, I've seen it.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
you don't want to go there. You're
It's
like,
not
I
as
know what it's about.
impressive, yeah.
But any particular places you like the best?
I mean, I love being in the desert, just out there. Arizona is a beautiful place to visit. I was kind of on this track. I couldn't really go off and visit something. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? So
yeah,
I was
yeah.
just so kind of locked in. I didn't really.
So would you
visit
say that was
stuff.
a stupid question?
One good, one stupid.
Hold on,
That's what I'm good
Let me
for.
put the camera
You gotta
on.
even it
Yeah,
out.
let me put the camera on him. That's a stupid question.
Salty sweet. It makes you appreciate the good one.
Yeah.
You gotta throw in a bad one. It can't be all be good because then it diminishes the real good one. Anyway, so you got something to tell me?
Oh no! I was gonna actually bring up the point that he's living the life that we've wanted to live. He's a
Yeah.
married man. I
Oh,
don't know
no
if you knew
way.
this. And he would pick up currently he's daily vlogging. He just got in his car, didn't know where to go. He ended up here in Orlando just because that's where he ended up. He doesn't really know where he's going next.
Oh, that's great,
How,
man.
how
Yeah.
did you
How do you
hook
get
up
that
with Tony?
freedom?
I met him through YouTube years
Yeah,
ago.
years
YouTube
ago.
skateboarding,
Okay.
and this is the first time we actually met
Yeah.
Oh, that's
in
awesome.
person. Yeah.
Because Tony did tell me he's like, hey,
So this is
can
like
I,
this is like Tony meeting a lady of the night, and then we can now let's talk about pricing and the menu at hand.
and again when you decided to write a book, was that always the plan? So did you take
It's a
down
photo
notes?
book, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's I walk you through the whole trip.
Oh, that's killer.
Yeah, Tony Hawk wrote the foreword.
No way,
Yeah,
man.
it's
That's
cool.
awesome. We met him one time.
Did you?
Well, hold on. I didn't get to meet him.
That's why I brought it up. I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about me and Monjet.
I gifted
not
my meet and greet to Tony
Yeah.
because I'm such a good person. I'm almost. I mean, that's a better
They
feat
call
than
him
the
Father
skateboarders across
Teresa of
America.
Castleberry.
Yeah. I mean, Chad,
Yeah.
if you give away your opportunity to meet Tony Hawk,
Yeah, would you? Would you
Oh,
give away?
no.
No,
Yeah,
nobody
yeah,
would.
yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't.
Only
No.
me. I'm
I
a
told him I
true
would.
American hero.
And I get a pass. I was an only child, so the selfishness is like baked into me. It can't come out. So
Yeah.
And so, was there like any point that you thought you were gonna get robbed or roughed up
Yeah.
or anything? Because
it
people.
sounds like you had a pretty easy go. I mean, like not easy. It's obviously the most difficult thing I would imagine you've ever done, but it didn't sound like humans were like messing with you or anything.
Yeah, I think they probably stay away. Meet just a weird guy in all black holding the camera. Like I don't want to mess with that guy.
Right.
Just
Yeah,
leave
yeah,
him
yeah,
alone.
right.
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
who are
pass him
you?
out.
Yeah.
I've
But-
seen Skibbity
Yeah.
Toilet. You're the bad guys, Mr.
Yeah.
Camerahead or whatever. they're-
I'm sure some people would think it's dangerous, but it's kind of no one's messing with you. Like you know,
Everything
like,
is
Oh,
dangerous.
no, I mean it definitely could happen, and I made sure to not skate at night. That was like a rule I had,
okay.
just because you're more likely to run into something at night.
Yeah, that's when the freaks come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So how did your wife handle this?
I'm glad you came back to this
Because,
I figured we were going to just power right through it,
Yeah.
but we needed to come back because the freedom of your wife allowing you to just go vlog. If I said that to my wife, she'd be like, first of all, she'd be like, what's a vlog? 'Cause my wife's about 70, 71 years old. I like them old.
My wife gets mad when I go to Lowe's for the second time in the
I
day.
know.
She's like, Lowe's again?
Yeah, you're escaping. Yeah.
So I can imagine telling her that I'm going to go find myself on a 2-month skateboard trip across
But don't
America.
worry, I'm doing vlogs.
and vlog
Watch
about
if
it.
you want to see what I'm doing, watch the vlog.
So she's supportive and is totally cool with it.
Yeah, I mean she was really nervous. She thought you could die out there.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I could
right.
get hit by a car or something. So
You could die in here.
that's true. Yeah, exactly. That's what I say.
Well-
Driving the car every day.
Yeah.
Semi truck going 80 while the guy looks at Pornhub.
Yeah.
This is not happening.
I bet that happens all the time. Like, in
Yeah.
fact, right now, as I'm saying this, I bet the number of trucks going down the road with Pornhub running
Yeah.
is like 62%.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I would guess.
But besides from her being worried, she wasn't mad that you were leaving her for 2 months to
No.
go on a grand adventure.
She knows that's these like crazy trips and ideas kind of what keep me sane. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a balance.
Is this your job? Are you a full-time vlogger, like skateboarding influencer, I guess, for lack of a better term?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
That's
I run a
cool.
food truck in the summer, but
Nice.
that's basically
So this is not the
balanced from
first
that, yeah.
time that you've done something like this, because you did was it learning 50 tricks on each state of the U.S. and that was in a one.
Yeah. So in 2019, I learned a new trick in every state in America, 50 days in a row, and daily vlogged every single day also.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay, so you traveled
Hold
to
on,
a different
that's
state.
way better than this skateboard garbage. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Hey, traveling to each 50 state and learning a trick.
A skateboard trick?
But every day, I mean,
Because I was like, I need to make sure
Yeah.
it's not like a card trick
No,
or
no.
like it's just a
No,
trick. It's
yeah.
a trick.
well, even like just
God,
schedule.
you are a very creative, cool person.
Yeah.
Well,
Thanks.
very
appreciate
lucky
that.
to
Thank
meet you.
Thank
Well,
you.
it also
Yeah.
helps that he's a really, really good skateboarder. So he's actually.
Well, he's also like super mellow and kind. So
Yeah.
thank
Oh,
you.
that-
We
oh,
appreciate you
appreciate
being
that.
here, man.
Thank you.
That's
you.
really cool. But man, you're weird. That's weird that your wife
That's-
let you do that. That's
For
weird.
sure,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
definitely is a little odd.
Yeah, but cool. Like
Yeah.
really, my wife would kill me.
She
if I did-
actually helped book the hotels a lot of times because I wouldn't have service,
Helped?
or
She
she would like be watching me on the GPS. Like, is he lost? Is he? Yeah.
Hey, let me call him. Hey,
Yeah.
turn around. You're
Yeah.
going the wrong way. That's
But-
cool.
With trucks flying by in the background.
the 50 states in 50 days. There how'd you manage Hawaii?
Yeah, so I planned before. That was kind of what let me know I could do this trip. I planned a flight to Alaska for day 49 and then to Hawaii for day 50. And once I realized I could do that, I was like, all right, I could do this.
Okay, so you flew from Alaska to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just
Do you start with them?
No, I did. That was 49
Those
and
were
50.
the okay.
Yeah,
so those
yeah.
are the final
Yeah,
ones.
and
Did
then I
you-
just chilled in Hawaii after. That was
How did you determine your order of going?
the flights, basically. Just wanted to make sure I could get those two flights dialed in.
where'd you start?
Yeah. I started in Maine.
In Maine, and then did you go to the closest states, or does sometimes you were hopping back and forth the flights?
No, I drove everything. So some days it would be 3 hours, some days 8 hours, and I just kind of went up and down the country.
And then you
Looped
flew the
and-
last
yeah.
two.
So I planned I would like pin each skate park I kind of wanted to hit, and I had a rough outline of what I wanted to do.
Chat room wants to know what was Florida's trick.
I can't even remember. Oh,
Sorry.
All right, switch 180.50 to fakie on transition.
Oh,
Like
wow.
that memory, right?
Yeah, I
You
do.
never forget my my children.
I like how man, you are a weirdo. You fit in here. Yeah, this
Whoa.
guy's cool.
What if just like Squid Game? I don't know. No spoiler alert.
That's
but-
crazy that you did that.
Like,
Was
there's
that
not
your
enough
second trip?
time. Like
That-
you,
yeah.
you have to make a flight to Mississippi.
No, he's gonna do it.
And then you're like trying to learn the trick, and you're like, you gotta be on the plane leaves in 2 hours.
What was your
Like,
hardest trick?
Day 50. I
50.
saved it for Hawaii to like
Gotcha.
end, big finale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in that case, like you can try to learn something easier. You know what I mean? Right? If you're
Yeah.
running out of time, try something easier. He was trying a lot of hard
Okay,
stuff.
the tricks weren't set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Same thing with all my challenges. I'm not trying to take any shortcuts or just do it for the. I want to
It's
push
for you,
Yeah,
yeah,
I want to
yeah.
push myself. So every day I'm trying to do something at the best of my ability. I'm not just trying to learn anything.
Now, does wife accompany you for the last two tricks because it's such weird places, or is she like, nah, I'm good. I'll see you when you get back from Hawaii.
We weren't together yet.
Oh, why, my God!
Yeah.
Is that what sealed the deal? Was she
No,
like,
I
this
was- I
guy's
had
a
a-
lunatic?
I had an old girlfriend, and that sealed the deal.
Yeah, all right. yeah. She's like, this
she-
guy's nuts. I'm
yeah,
out of here.
yeah,
All right, yeah.
yeah.
Best
So-
thing that ever happened to you. I love it.
Yep.
So
That's
again,
fantastic, man.
you can meet Chad at the CFL skate park this Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Pushing Through America is the book.
That's
Get
killer.
at chadcaruso.com. There's a documentary coming out this summer about it. Last
I hope
question,
you'll come
Chad.
back in the summer if you're around or call in at least.
Definitely down.
I'm sure you had a lot of time, especially at the once you got to Georgia or whatever. You're like, I'm gonna do this. There's nothing, like I'm sure there's a state you're like, I'm gonna finish no problem, and then you start thinking about what's my next adventure.
Yep.
Do you have one in mind?
I got a couple ideas, but I just try to suppress them as fast as possible
Okay.
until they just
Yeah.
inevitably come out. I've been kicking around Australia as an idea, but nothing set in
Pun
stone
intended,
yet.
too. Kicking
Yeah,
around. That's what it's called, kicking around.
Yeah,
Australia.
I'm really just focused on the book tour and the documentary because that in itself is a huge.
I mean, he's kind of on one right now.
yeah.
I mean, you're daily vlogging right now.
Yeah.
You just come up with some sort of skateboard boat that you kick, and then a little paddle.
Skateboat. It's a skateboat.
And then you skateboat to Australia.
Yeah.
You'll
Oh my
definitely
God.
die.
Yeah, you'll definitely die.
There's no way.
How are you with dying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because it is limitless. I mean, there's so many other.
You only said that because we talked about that movie earlier today.
But there's so many adventures that other there's a couple in Europe.
Do they
and
always have
Pan
these
American
skateboard adventures though, right?
Yeah, probably. I
you
mean, for
wake
now,
skate?
we'll see how long my
Could you-
body holds up. You know.
Could you wake skate and would that count? Like if you go to a
Yeah.
place where there's a good lake, have somebody
100%.
hire somebody on the boat. And
No
just wake
bindings.
skate through?
No bindings that you gotta have shoes on.
Yeah, like the wake.
When
Yeah,
you wake skate across the Atlantic from New York to
Yeah.
England.
I like this. Behind Conor McGregor's green Lamborghini boat.
I think you'll definitely die.
That would be awesome, though. I mean, that'd be a really good one.
Well, Chad, thanks so much for coming in.
man.
Oh, thanks
It's
for
very
having me
nice
on.
to
It was really
meet you.
fun, yeah.
Thanks for
Good
being
talking to
here,
you guys.
dude. And make sure you go out and support, our local skate, little skate parks, skate shops, whatever we have around here, because they need the help. They're as small businesses get. So going out there and supporting them is a big deal.
Also, I know I've said this before, but I really do respect and appreciate the discipline of skateboarding. And I wish my son, like, if my son's got it, in the 90s and the 80s.
Kind of doing it with breakdancing. I mean, it's hard. You gotta try your tricks, and then you gotta keep trying them until you get them.
It's so short-sighted for parents in the 80s and 90s to be like, oh, my son, like freaking out because their son got into skateboarding, and they're like, oh, he's wasting his life as a skateboarder.
No.
Like, what the hell, wasting his life? This is one of the most disciplined sports of people that really get into it, trying a trick over and over 10,000 times.
Thousands
That
of
you know what I'm
times,
saying? It's like there's more discipline in skateboarding than baseball. I mean, obviously,
You're gonna get some emails about that.
I
I get what you're saying. I
well,
like what you're saying.
I'm talking of like little league. You put you show me a passionate skateboarding kid and then a passionate baseball playing
It can
kid.
be just as valuable as any other sport.
But I'm leaning towards the skateboarding kid having more mental toughness and discipline because it's so individual and the practice. Like I know there's hitting and pitching and okay, well, I'm gonna shut up now. Skateboarding, more discipline.
Hold on a second. Mike.
Talk myself out of it. I talked myself out of it.
I think he started arguing with himself because I said, you're going to get some emails about it. I planted one tiny seed of doubt. Then the computer started arguing with itself. I was like, shut down.
You gave ChatGPT another prompt in the middle of his goddamn essay.
That's never happened before. You were here. That's been, we've been waiting for that for 30 years.
That's awesome.
We hit singularity and the computer shut down. He's
More discipline than soccer.
I get what you're saying.
We're too American. American baseball, no, MLK inauguration day. Soccer, more discipline than kicking a stupid ball around. All right.
Yeah, I like that. Hey,
right.
thanks for being here. Tony, thanks for being here, buddy. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Monjetphoto.com.
Yeah, I will be daily vlogging. I'm gonna fart on each one of my rooms in the house and drink a lot of Guinness.
Okay.
I'll be tuning in.
Yeah,
There you go. There you go. Yeah, we will
just
be
as
tuning in for
good.
that.
Farting Guinness. All right, we will be right back.
Awesome. That's super funny. Still on Twitch and YouTube.
Cool.
Nice.
You're hanging out, right, Tony?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then we'll just go straight into the.
Works for
I just
me.
need a drink, a protein drink.
Nice.
Thanks
Cool.
for
That's
being
fun.
here,
You guys
man.
got great radio voices.
Oh, thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate that, man.
Nice.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
We
dude.
really appreciate you
Thanks.
being here.
I always am envious of a grand adventure.
That's a
because
good one, too.
It's because we talked to a guy that walked across. I think.
Thank you again for being here, man. I really appreciate it.
Where did the guy who lives off the grid? He walked. I think
Are you talking about,
he walked from the United States down.
are you talking about Green? Green,
Yeah.
Green,
I forgot his,
Green,
I
oh
think
shit, what's that guy's name?
He walked from like L.A. maybe to
Yeah.
the tip of South America, like,
okay.
or did something like and we've talked to other people that have done really cool long distance adventures, and it's pretty fascinating.
Once I started this, I learned like there's a whole community of all different types of things, and they all, there's not many of us, so you end up finding each other.
It's super. I mean
What's your
dedication
YouTube channel?
It's just Chad Caruso.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Then I'll
And
find you.
Instagram, same.
I will sub in. I love stuff like that, especially if I know the person now that I've got a connection. Like I'll watch it with my. Is it adult content or do you curse a lot or anything?
in the past couple of videos.
Not that it
there'll be,
matters
like,
if it's
one
just
or two
cursing or
curses in
yeah,
the
it's fine.
background, But
I watch with my daughter sometimes to
Yeah.
show her stuff that's cool. You know, I'm like, hey, look what he's doing.
Skate Across America and almost all of my content, I never curse.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and I do lessons and.
She hears me
Pretty
curse all the
PG,
time. She
yeah.
just yells at me and is like, I'm never going to talk like that. I'm like, okay. Because I'm the bad one. Good seeing you,
Yeah,
man.
nice
Thanks
meeting you.
again for being
Thanks
here.
again, I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
pleasure, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, please. We're not going to break for lunch, EJ. We're gonna jump. Hey T, do you want me to put us on Facebook real quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go Facebook.
We're going right to Facebook because today our families are off and we got kind of started early, so we're gonna switch over. Sorry, I got a mustache hair in my mouth. We're gonna head over to Facebook and get the BDM shows done. We already got the OG done, so we will see you guys over.